You've got brakes. What brakes?
I'm on the next level. Yeah, I know you heard about it.
Motherfucker.
You know I'm bout it, and don't you ever doubt it. I'm incomparable, that's why they staring though. Turn up the stereo, check it out, check it out, check it out. I'm hot just like a sauna, New York to California. Too hot, too hot. You ain't seen nothing like this, nobody do it like this. I'm on the next level, next level, on the next level. They all trying to catch up to my next level, next level, on the next level. Check it out, check it out, check it out. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Motherfucker.
You like that old school, back in the music, that shit is old news. I'm popping through the ceiling, that's my motto, that's my motto. I lead, they follow. I'm hot just like a sauna, New York to California. Too hot, too hot. You ain't seen nothing like this, nobody do it like this.
Motherfucker.
I'm on the next level, next level, on the next level. They all trying to catch up to my next level, next level, on the next level. Check it out, check it out, check it out.
What is up, guys? Welcome back. I am doing a live premiere tonight, which means I am live, but I am showing you guys an old live stream that I did with Steve. So instead of uploading it and premiering it through YouTube, I am premiering it live. And that's what a live premiere means, in case you didn't know, because I didn't know. I would see people, stuff saying live premiere, and I'm like, how the fuck do you do a live premiere? And here I am doing a live premiere. So there's that. Red Storm is in the house. Welcome, Red Storm. We got Melted Syracuse here. LVK is in the house. Somebody named Meldology 101 is here. Welcome. Curtis is here. I said, Pastor of Muppets is here. Let me scroll up a little, guys. Juan is in the house. What's up, Juan? I send out a bunch of text messages to everybody because a lot of times people don't get notified. We're doing it live, Juan. You got that right. Patty G is in the house. Welcome, Patty. You are not tardy. Curtis. What am I going to do with you? We already know the answer to that one. All right, guys. So this premiere is from 5 years ago. It was pretty early on when Steve and I started doing live streams. It wasn't like the first one or two, but it was definitely within the first 5 live streams I think we've done together. And we always had such a very good rapport with each other, complimented each other very well as far as research and respect for putting our stuff out there and brainstorming it out. I always had a lot of fun with him. I really miss him a lot. Yep, right, Juan. Shout out to Steve JMO. Link is in the description for his channel. And this live stream that we did is 4 hours and some change long. I talked for about the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes by myself because he was running late. So I cut that part out and I just fast forwarded to the meat where we're getting into it. So if you guys want to see it from the very beginning, and just hear what I was talking about or whatever, I'll drop the link here and you can have it for yourself. And maybe at a later date, go to the very beginning and listen to that part if you're interested. If not, you don't have to. It's no big deal. It's not life-changing information. It's just me doing my thing like I always do. Let's see here. All right, so we're going to get into a screen share. I'm going to take Juan's comment off the screen now first. Let's do that. Back in the day when I was a newbie, I'd have the comment up and I'd leave it up there the whole time and forget that he was even up there. But no, not no more. Can't have that. That's a newbie rookie mistake. All right, here we go. Let's see here if I can get this to work. What is this thing doing? I'm working on it, guys. Give me a sec. There we go. Maybe that'll work. Oh, God, what did I just do? I don't think I screen shared. Yes, I did. Okay, good. I did. They got this new thing going on with StreamYard, and, I'm a creature of habit. I don't like all this change and nuance and stuff, but, they spring it on you, and then you don't know what the hell's going on. Is that a sign you're getting old? I don't know. Okay, so I think I put the volume on. I want to make sure, though. Let me go back out here and do this again. So do it one more time, just to be sure. Yeah, the volume is on. All right, guys, so here we go. I think I'm gonna put it on big screen too, because I don't think I was screen shared that time. It's not working right. Nope, it's not. All right, let me do this again. I don't know what's up. Sorry, guys. Trying to get this thing to work the way it usually does. There we go. And the volume is on. Okay, should be good now. Yes. Put one in the chat if you can see this good. I'm on a little delay, so I'm just waiting, guys. All right, looks like everything's good. Go back over here and put it on full screen now. Is it this? Yeah, here we go. All right, we're on. All right, here we go, guys. So I'm starting it in at 32 minutes in, and it's 4 hours and 2 minutes long in its entirety. So just so you know, this is where we're at. All right, so we're kind of going right into where we're just starting to talk. We haven't missed anything profound or anything like that. So Also, I got to mute myself out on my end. Let me go back over here and do that real quick.
4 years ago, I did a lot of flat Earth videos, and they were ranging between like 2,000 to be like the lowest amount of views, and my highest one was like 67, almost 70,000. And then once I switched it up to 9/11, Mandela effect, consciousness, all the stuff that relates back to pretty much God and the Bible in a way, it went down to I don't know. I've hit over 1,000 views in about 3 years now, 2 years. It's ridiculous.
Wow. So that's how long you've been on YouTube? For about 3 years?
For almost 5, about 4.5. I've had this channel for probably 10 years, but I just never really released any content until late. No, it was early 2015. It was January, 20 or 30th, around there, give or take. I dropped my first video, and I haven't really looked back since then. It was just basic flat Earth stuff then, and then once you wake up to one thing, you wake up to everything, and then it all just took off from there. And now,
so is that what you woke up to first, or did you say it was 9/11?
It was 9/11. I always just had like a weird eye towards. I didn't really know what was going on because that happened when I was in 1st or 2nd grade, I think. And
oh my God, how old are you?
24.
Oh my gosh, you're so young. I love it. I love it because this is what I'm talking about is young people and teaching our children the truth and stuff, and young people getting involved and taking the reins and stuff like that. And I think it's awesome. I was very curious about how old you are. So that's
Thank
awesome.
You. Yeah. There's a lot of kids that are around my age that are very interested in topics like this. So I try to just, drop stuff on people at work who talk about it every day. Like there's this one chick I was telling Brian yesterday. She's probably 18 or 19, and she is very interested in the Mandela effect and what it means and all this other stuff. And I'm just, telling her things here and there. And Sunday, I just finally decided to drop the flat Earth bomb on her, and she didn't deny it, but she did not even come close to accepting it. She just hid behind NASA lies and science. But it's good to see that that the younger people are starting to wake up to this more than more than they were even just 2 or 3 years ago. Because when I started dropping the flat Earth videos, like I said, 3 or 4 years ago, I put them on my public Facebook page. I put them on like Instagram, Snapchat, and it was just crazy. Like everyone around me just flipped on me. Like I was one of the more popular kids in high school, and now I could probably count on my hand the amount of real friends that I actually give a damn about, because they have woken up to this as well, or they've taken similar paths and journeys and are around what we are. And it's just hard to have a conversation with someone who has no idea about the actual reality we live in. Like I try to explain it to them as this, like I'm over here in calculus and they're over here in elementary math class. So why would I even attempt to try to teach them what I know? Right. And that's the point I'm at now, which is I shouldn't be at that point, but it's just so hard to tell everyone everything over and over and over and over and over again for years, and they just don't get it. Yeah. But it's just weird how all of a sudden everyone's starting to get it. Like right as I was like, F y'all can just burn the lake of fucking fire when that shit happens. But now they're all waking up to it, and now I'm just like, oh crap. Like now I got to start simplifying stuff for people, because I'm over here. I like to learn something new every day. Yeah. And it's very hard to learn something new every day when you're teaching people things I learned 5, 6, 7 years ago, Yeah. It's just very hard that way. And
well, that's what it is too, is we all in a sense become teachers. And I remember when I first started on this journey, I had to, I was learning it all. So I had to retain it and then be able to spit it all back out in a fashion that somebody could understand it. I had to learn who the players were, what their names were, what all these different words. I remember the first time I came across the word oligarchy. I'm like, what the fuck is an oligarchy? So I had to stop my research and look up oligarchy, this kind of stuff. And now I find myself as I'm more of like in a teacher kind of role. When somebody is interested, I have, specific little avenues that I send them down, and then I'm like, well, keep in touch. We'll talk more. Check that out. And then, we'll talk about that, and I'll show you something else or whatever. I don't always hear back from these people, but I do always plant seeds. And, sometimes I'm just like bursting at the seams. Like I just want to spit some shit out at people because, I want to talk about it, and there's nobody around here to talk about it to. And I'll be in a store, and I'll be shopping or doing whatever. I get to the register. As a matter of fact, yesterday, this is what happened. I was at the register. A guy in front of me had this hoodie on with all these cool sayings all over it. And I said, oh, wow, I like your hoodie. I'm just standing here behind you reading it all. And he turns around and he's like, oh, yeah, man, that's what's up. I like, blah, blah. I was like, yeah. And the earth's flat. And he's like, yeah, that's what's up. And I was like, yeah, that's right, dude. I was like, fuck NASA. And I also saw a homeless guy. He asked me for some money, and I'm like, look, what the fuck are you doing with this NASA coat on? He's like, oh man, somebody gave this to me. You like it? I'm like, no, I don't like it. You need to throw that shit in the trash. I'll buy you a new coat. Yeah, somebody gave him a NASA jacket. I was like, dude, get that thing off.
NASA, NASA's 100% garbage. I'm sure everyone here in the chat, everyone's going to watch this, should know that by now. And it's just a very obvious stuff because if you look in the Bible, the only deity, the only other ungodly god that was named in the Bible was Apollyon, Abaddon. And what's the name of the first missions they did? The Apollo mission. Right there. Go. And trying to resurrect
him. Yes, they're worshiping him every day, all day long, with all their insignias and their patches and everything that's around us. As a matter of fact, I did a video just the other day about it, is that people are worshiping Lucifer every day, and they have no clue that they're doing it. They're wearing his symbols all over. They're wearing his jewelry and his snake earrings, and they're listening to all this, Luciferian music that they have no idea, that they think is just cool, whatever. And literally, and then they call themselves Christians and go to church, but you're worshiping Satan. And you're going on Sunday, by the way.
The wrong day, the day of the sun, the day of Lucifer, pretty much, the rising sun. They have no idea. Yeah, people have no idea. It's ridiculous.
That's the thing.
And then it goes, like I said, on the NASA thing, it goes back even deeper than that, because obviously their first missions were named Apollo. But what were the name of the rockets they were using? They were called the Saturn I rockets. And what's the holiday we're in right now? So it relates very well. There you go. Yep. Just right in your faces. And then their new project.
Time of feasting and orgies.
Yeah, disgusting, and they love it. They absolutely love it. And there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now in the skies. I don't know if people have picked up on any of that stuff, but right as I was about to walk inside, me and my brother, we just stopped. We saw this orange light in the sky. It started coming down. You could see the line, it was here and then it was here, but the line was still there. Then it just gone. It was gone. We were standing out there. That's why it took me another couple minutes to get on too, because we're standing out there scratching our heads for 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck? What's that, bro?
Yeah, the veil's lifting. I think
my God.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. The veil's lifting, and we're seeing more and more stuff. There could be people around you looking at the same sky, and they're not going to see what you see.
No, you're 100% right there. And then you have people like Science Magazine or Scientology, whatever, some science magazine releasing an article about why there's so many blinking stars in the galaxy. It's absolutely ridiculous. What do you think they really are? People have no idea.
Well, I think
ridiculous.
NASA had to be created because these wandering stars that we see, and I've seen them forever, I was like, oh, look at that one. That one's moving. It's a little tiny little dot in the sky. And if you look closely, you'll pick up on it and you'll see it's moving real slow across the sky. And, you might see another one going another way or something like that. If NASA wasn't around, we'd be like, well, what the heck is that? No, NASA's around and NASA has satellites, and that's what it is. It's satellites up there. It's like,
Are you sure?
You can see why they created NASA and what it's all there for. Now, since we brought up NASA and we're getting into that, I'm going to have you share something for me.
Yep.
Back when I was listening to oh gosh, what is his name? There's guys that talk about like glass buildings on the moon and stuff like that. What the heck was his name? I can't even think of it. But anyway, the 19.5 on the planets and these vortex zones. And, the reason we're not going back to the moon is because, there's things up there and they don't want us to come back. I was into all that stuff. And I remember hearing this one lady talk about Werner von Braun. And how all his stuff is hold on, I'm trying to get it up here. Let me see.
Oh no, you're good. Take your time.
Put my glasses back on. So I have to send it to you through my phone. So
just want to shout out Brian Staley, just joined the chat there.
Yep.
And
warn her.
Exactly. I was gonna say that, but he beat me to it, son of a bitch.
All right, I got it right here. I'm gonna send it to you now. And I heard this I don't know how many times back in the day. And now that I know what I know now, listening to her say what she's saying, it all makes sense. So we're going to listen to what she has to say. I'm going to send it to you now.
Yeah.
See if you can get it to come up. All right. You should have got it.
I got something here. Yep. What's going on? Oh,
okay, yeah. So I want everybody to listen closely to what this lady's going to say and what Werner von Braun said to her in confidence about what they were doing and why they were doing it.
All right, let me get this up. Can we see that?
Oh, hold on. I got to accept it here. Hold on. There we go.
All right. You just let me know when to hit play.
Go ahead. You're good.
All right.
The strategy that Werner von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy. In fact, when I met him in 1974, they were the enemy, the identified enemy. We were told that they had killer satellites. We were told that they were coming to get us and control us, the dirty commies, that whole story. First, the Russians were the enemy against whom we're going to build space-based weapons. Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow. We heard a lot about terrorism. Then we were going to identify third world country crazies. We now call them nations of concern. But he said that would be the third enemy against whom we would be needing to build space-based weapons. And the next enemy was asteroids. Now, at this point, he kind of chuckled the first time he said it.
He chuckled.
Asteroids were going to build space-based weapons. So it was funny then. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card and remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie. He didn't mention a timeline, but he said that it was going to be speeding up faster than anybody could possibly imagine. That the effort to put weapons in space was not only based on a lie, but would accelerate past the point of people even understanding it until it was already up there and too late.
Now, see, the thing is that she's under the impression that space exists, but it's all going up for other reasons, not what they're telling us. Werner was telling her it's all a lie. He knew that there was no space. And, looking at it now and listening to it now, it's like, oh my gosh, this was a huge piece to the puzzle that nobody really got. Even she really didn't get it,
No, absolutely. Like she said, he repeated it, and she just never really fully understood it. And, to this day, we're not going to know what her stance really is on the whole alien and space thing. But, yeah, that's if someone showed me that video back in like 2014, 2015, I would have not gotten it like we're getting it now, because like they're forming the UN, the Space Force. Yeah. Right, to defend the Earth against a threat of extraterrestrial whatevers. And if aliens were real, just let me put this out here real quick. If aliens were real in a sense of being an extraterrestrial from a different planet and all that other stuff, don't you think they would have came here by now? Don't you think they would have landed on the White House front lawn by now? Same thing with meteors. Meteors aren't real, people. Meteors would have hit us by now. We would see more craters on the moon. We would have another event where the dinosaurs got wiped out or what the f ever. It's ridiculous. It's all just a fear porn, just to
Yeah, well, that's what I always said about space. Space gave them a whole new level of fear to mind fuck us with. Asteroids, aliens, coronal mass ejections, all this stuff.
Black holes and shit.
Black holes, comets, all this stuff. And when I see now like these there's going to be a coronal mass ejection, the grid could go down and all this stuff like that. And I think back how I bought into all that. And I actually prepared for some of it. It's like, oh my gosh, if the grid goes down, I better have some shit. And I still do have a lot of stuff actually, but it's fear-based mind control. And it's been propagated on to the American people and the world, since those black and white films, the first ones that they made of trips to the moon and all this stuff like that, where they're, in this little rocket ship and they go land on the moon and stuff like that. And it's just like, they had this shit mapped out long before NASA even, was developed and put out to the forefront. They were already propagating it through the movies and their tell lies to their vision and stuff like that. War of the Worlds on the radio. That really got people. I don't know if you remember that whole story, but that was just a psyop, a beta test to see how well they could trigger people and scare them. And it's like, oh, it's just a story. You didn't hear the announcement in the beginning, all this stuff. But yeah, I re-listened to that video the other day and I'm like, I got to talk about this because she's telling us that Werner was telling her, look, it's all a lie. And he chuckled, when he's like, asteroids, like, yeah, right.
Right.
Well, and if there was space, well, why would he chuckle? Why couldn't there actually be asteroids, because it's all a lie.
Right. The one to know, seeing as he was pretty much the man who formed NASA, like from the Nazi regime. And that's a lot of things that people don't quite seem to understand is that NASA is 100% formed upon the Nazi regime. How many Nazis were in the formation of NASA? All of them.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. And another thing about the War of the Worlds transmission they did over the radio waves, after that they banned propaganda like that with the Smith-Mundt Act, and then the greatest president ever, Barack Obama, decided to take that awesome act off. So now they can do another War of the Worlds type broadcast over the radio waves and get away with it because the Smith-Mundt Act that takes away propagation against from the government to the public, they just ushered that away, and now they could do something like that, no problem. Even before Obama abolished that, they were still doing it. Like I even laughed when they're like, oh, he overturned that and everything. And I'm like, what's it matter? They've been doing it and they're still going to do it. You know what I mean? It's just like a dog and pony show. You know what I mean? Exactly.
It's ridiculous. And then you have Donald Trump with his Space Force. The Space Force forcing space on us. And I still have not seen the Mandela Effect movie. Have you?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for anyone who knows exactly what the Mandela Effect is. Like, you, me, and everyone in the chat. Just a big disinfo campaign. It's to, push the simulation theory. And they only show maybe 5, 6 absolute maximum Mandela effects. There's no residue. They actually somehow connect. If you're not affected by the Mandela effect, you have like a demonic soul of some sort, because they showed some sort of the being come out of this chick who wasn't affected by the whole thing. But and then it shows the guy at the end of the movie, the one who's affected by the Mandela effect, shows him actually killing someone to get the answer, to go find out the truth. So that just portrays us to be lunatics, people who are affected by
not only lunatics, but dangerous lunatics, because we could kill somebody.
Exactly.
Like any minute now.
Yeah. Right. Shit. Right in the neck. Exactly.
Right? Yeah, so it's pretty pathetic what's going on in the world. And when you see it and you know what you're looking at, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't even believe that I bought this shit all this time. Like I was saying before, I thought I was awake to a lot of things. And like even Brian Staveley showed me a whole nother angle to 9/11 that I never even considered, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not as awake as I thought I was here. And, and then the whole flat earth thing and everything, it's like, because for a while there, I thought, wow, there's nothing else to learn. I pretty much know it all. It's kind of, I'm like looking for new information at this point. And then, in comes the Mandela effect and Tranny Man and all that junk.
Right. And you're on a whole other road. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, Mandela effect. And then I'm like, wait a minute, flat earth? What's this? And it's like flat earth and Mandela effect at the same time. And they're like head to head with each other, like in some kind of race or something. And, and then you got the people who are in the Mandela effect community and the flat earth community, and we're trying to bridge those communities. And it's like, well, it's not connected. Why are we even trying to connect the two? But they are connected because at the end of that movie, I was told that there's a scene where they show all these, rockets going up and space shuttle and space and all this stuff like that at the end of the movie. Is that true?
Yeah, it pretty much. So what basically happens at the end of the movie there is he gets access to the quantum D-Wave computer that controls our reality, apparently. And he just reset it so everything that happened in our reality happens again, going back to the Big Bang, the formation of planets, the dinosaurs, to NASA going up, just everything that happened in reality, in their reality, their fabricated reality, to catch them up to the present day. And when that happens, the whole movie, it's like he's in a dream the whole time, or it's just a thought, because the first scene is the last scene. It's really strange.
Right. And that to me also seems like that's like a reset. He reset everything.
Exactly.
Start all over again. And
set it everything into the fake, or into the Mandela affected world, because his daughter at the beginning of the movie was holding Curious George by her tail, and at the end of the movie was no tail. So that was
exactly. Yeah, I noticed that.
Big reset.
I noticed that at one point, because I only saw the outtakes for the movie, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's got a tail. And then I'm like, wait a minute, he don't have a tail. Okay, so he lost his tail somewhere in there, it's showing that he did have a tail, and now he doesn't. But what I'm saying is that the reason for them, because we're talking about propaganda here, the reason for them to stick all that NASA shit in the end of it, flashing all that at us, has to be to reaffirm space and to disregard flat Earth. It's programming. That's what people had happen to them when they went to see this movie, is they were programmed. Now, for me, it's a clear connection between the Mandela effect and flat Earth, if they're going to shove that in that movie. I've always felt like Mandela effect and flat Earth are connected. It seems like one is the result of the other.
Yes.
I'm not sure which way it goes, but I definitely feel like one is the result of another, for sure. If flat Earth wasn't popping off right now, we might not be seeing the Mandela effect, or vice versa. I don't know. But to me, it seems like the Matrix is breaking down, and it's in its death throes now. You know what I mean? Because some of these changes are so ridiculous.
No, you're right there, because what I've noticed, a big thing with the Mandela effect and the flat Earth connection is South America. Now, for many people, South America was literally just south of America, but now it's 1,400 miles southeast of America. Yeah. But if we all look at the flat Earth map that we've looked at the entire time of our flat Earth awakening, I don't know how long it's been for you. It's been 4 or 5 years for me. South America has always been 1,400 miles to the east on the flat Earth map. So we wake up to this flat Earth reality. Then we see that the Mandela effect kind of shifted that on us. Mm-hmm. And you come to me and to you, many other people, that's how I find out they're one and the same. Because if there's no Mandela effect, there's no flat Earth in the South America concept of it. Like, there's no reason why the Panama Canal should be north and south all of a sudden. It's ridiculous. I know people's grandparents who've worked on the Panama Canal, and they know it's east to west. They worked on it. Jesus.
So what I'm thinking is it still east to west if you go there, or is it because I've never been there, but it would be interesting to actually go there and see like that it's running north to south now. I don't know. I just only have gone by what I've seen on maps. But so the Mandela effect is actually showing us what it really looks like by shifting South America over 1,500 miles to the east on the globe. But if you look at the flat map, it's actually that's where it's always been, is what you're saying.
Exactly. It's exactly what I'm saying.
So the Mandela effect is the apocalypse. It's the revealing.
Exactly. It's the thinning of the veil. And I love the word apocalypse you use there, because a lot of people associate that with gloom and doom. The media is going to take us out. Like, no, the apocalypse is just a time of great awakening, of like a conscious opening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, they want you to fear it. That's why they don't. And you can't learn, you can't grow when you're in fear. Like that movie Apocalypto that Mel Gibson did. That was all fear-based, obviously.
Of course, Mel Gibson, 33 name. Just pointing that out there.
It's just crazy. So, but yeah, they just want to keep us in a fear-based mind control. So they stunt us in our consciousness. We can't level up when you're living in fear. And if you're in fear of the apocalypse, when all it is that knowledge is coming forth and it's being unveiled before you, but you're going to fear it. You're not even going to look at it. You're going to still be playing in their game where they want you. And I was thinking about the Mandela effect as being not just changing it. Everybody's like, I want my reality back. Oh, okay, so for JFK, I don't know. There couldn't have been 6 people in that car. So I don't know exactly what it's revealing there. But Moses, okay? Moses has horns now. But before he didn't. And I went to Catholic school. I was never taught that Moses had horns in any type of depiction whatsoever. And so Moses, the lawgiver, has horns, and he's actually Pan. So we're actually seeing, that what we thought was, the Mosaic, lawgiver, Moses, is actually Pan, which is, like Lucifer, pretty much. It's really interesting how it revealed that to us. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. I didn't know about that effect there.
I'm going to send you something else, because Richie from Boston had a really cool guy on his show the other day. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he brought all this forth. And when he said, what? The
Big Sib?
I'm not sure if that's his name. Yeah, I think that might be it.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good guy.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love listening to him. So I'm going to share something else with you. Let me see if I have it on a Google search here. Let's see here. Moses with horns. Let's see if that's it. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. I got it. I'm going to have to copy and paste it from my computer here instead of the phone. And I'm going to send it right to you. You want to say hi to the chat? Can you see the chat?
I can see the chat. I can't type in the chat.
That's right. You can't. I forgot.
No, I'll give him a little shout out real quick. Everyone in here I've seen from my channel, so it's good to see Cold Steel Truth. What's going on, brother? Michelangelo, what's up? Ghana Ball, Squeeze, Queen of Swords. How you doing tonight? How you doing? Good stuff. Jack Johnson. Yep, probably Zach Johnson, but that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Gary Rich. Yep.
So you should have that in your messages now. And
I do.
Pull that up, we're going to look at what he had shown on Richie from Boston, because I find it to be like absolutely stunning. I couldn't even believe this.
Okay, so am I going for Google Images here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Let me get a screen share up now. Chrome tab. Boom.
We have 31 people here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming on this winter solstice eve. All right. Now that picture there with all the busts right there. Can you Can you click that first picture?
Right here.
Yeah. Bring that one up bigger. Okay, so these busts are, I believe he said, are in the Capitol building, and they line the floor of where the Speaker of the House is and stuff, you know, where the fasci is, and everybody sees the fasci up there, and they're like, what's that doing there? Well, these busts are the lawgivers throughout the ages. And if you'll see in there, they're all looking left to right. But there's only one that's facing forward. Yes, and that's Moses, the lawgiver. But if you notice, he has horns. And the guy, the big Civ, had said that is Pan. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Because I couldn't think of why suddenly Moses has horns. It just made no sense to me. I did not realize that something was being revealed to me. Okay, I see it. I know it's a change, but I wasn't getting the full meaning of it. And then I listened to his show, which if you guys aren't subscribed to Richard from Boston, you guys should really subscribe. Because, you know, I don't care what you guys say about him. He's got some really good guests on. He puts out good information. This here is not Moses. It's Pan. Pan is in the Capitol building with all these other lawgivers. And when you go back and research all these other guys out, you realize that, you know, when George Bush Sr. says, we're not going to be governed by the law of the jungle, you know, we're going to be governed by the rule of law, and talks about the lawgivers and everything like that. So I was like blown away by that. And that, well, I couldn't figure out this Mandela effect about why Moses is being depicted with horns now. So we have to realize that these Mandela effects, whatever's causing it, which I think is the veils lifting off of us, their matrix is breaking down, and we're going to start to see their real bullshit for what it is, you know? Because everybody looks at Moses, you know, he's on Mount Sinai, he's got these 2 tablets, he's talking to a burning bush, he's like, you know, the hand of God practically, and here all it is fucking Pan, you know?
That's crazy.
I know, right? I don't know if that page that you're on has any other pictures of Moses in sculptures being shown with horns or not. If you scroll back a little out of it or something. Probably not. I think I have it on the Capitol building. Let me see here. Let me give you this one. I'm going to send you one more.
Yeah.
I hate not knowing how to screen share. It sucks.
What do you think you're not doing right?
I have no idea, but I'm definitely not doing it right. If I knew what I was not doing right, I wouldn't be doing it wrong. All right, hold on. There we go. So there's another one that you can pull up, because these are the statues of Moses that you're going to pull up. The Da Vinci one and stuff.
Wow, that's crazy.
When this change happened a couple of years ago, and I heard about it, I'm like, dude, I'm Catholic. I went to Catholic school. I know all about Moses. He got no fucking horns.
Oh, you're right. I went to Catholic school too. We did a play. Our April play or whatever it was. It was Moses and, you know, the whole story. We did a whole sing along, whatever you call it, whatever. And he did not have horns. I'll tell you that. Yeah. We didn't put horns on the goddamn kid who played Moses. I'll tell you that.
Right. So now we're seeing, it's being revealed to us who Moses really is. And so if God gave Moses these tablets, who's God? And who's given us, you know, what are these laws actually about? Or why is it that we even have to obey these laws? Now, I'm not saying, you know, people, you know, they need some sort of a moral structure, and here it is on this tablet from God, but I always thought that they're giving us these laws to abide by so they can go behind the scenes and break all the laws. You know what I mean? And they can be in control because they're ones breaking the laws and doing all this shit behind the scenes. But we're the good little people over here, the good little sheeple, abiding by all the laws and doing what we're supposed to do, you know, for this reason. So yeah, this is a Da Vinci statue. And if you scroll down through these pictures, you'll eventually get to Pan. because it starts showing only so many of Moses there, and it starts to show the depiction of what this creature really is.
I go down one and it brings me right to Baal. That's crazy.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Wow. And look at this. Look at that. Where'd that little fucker go? Yeah, that seems like a good type of person right here.
Exactly.
That looks like my Moses. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy, man. I don't even know what to say about all that. That's a good pickup.
And like I said, when I'm listening to this show with Richie from Boston, I was just like, I was really impressed with what the guy had to say. But when he got to this part of Moses and started talking about that, and you can see how it leads right into Pan. You're on Moses, for Christ's sake. Why is it showing you all this stuff, right?
No crap.
The algorithm knows what it is. And that one right there in the middle with the
this one?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too. I don't fuck with that. Look at that thing.
Yeah,
what
it's crazy.
Fuck?
Uh-huh.
Hey, yo,
learn something new every day, Steve, right?
that is ridiculous. It's like you unlearn what you already know, and this is the new. That's crazy. Yeah. Like you, I went to Catholic school K through 8. That was not broadcasted. I'll tell you that. And it was rather funny because every couple of Fridays we would do like a free Bible study. Like you could just open the Bible, read what you want. But I wish I could remember what books were forbidden for us to read. Like we couldn't read out of Revelations. I know there were parts of Genesis we couldn't read, and there were 1 or 2 other books we couldn't read. Yeah. Just because it went against everything that they were teaching us in the Catholic school. Because obviously, looking back on it now, if you're you follow the Catholic religion, you're just worshiping Baal, you're just worshiping Lucifer, Nimrod, whatever this thing is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you want to hear something funny too? I was listening to a comedian, and he's Italian. I'm not going to say his name, but he went to Catholic school, and he said he was an altar boy. He's like, yeah, that's right. I was working the masses. And, Catholics call going to church or going to mass. But when he said it like that, yeah, I was working the masses. I immediately thought, the people, the masses, the mass sheeple and stuff. And it just, I hear these little tidbits out of people's mouths, and it's like, yeah, you were working the masses. That's what all these priests are doing. They're working the masses, the Vatican and everything.
They're playing the pocket real heavy too. How much money do they get just in donation from people at church every Saturday and Sunday? It's ridiculous.
If we didn't hand in our little envelopes that they give you in school, you got to put your room number on it and your name and 50 cents in there. Back then, that's what it was. If they didn't get your envelope, you heard about it.
Right. No, if you didn't put into the little bin they gave at church every week, whatever, the person next to you would look at you rather funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it is we're all born into this. You know what I mean? And that's the scary part is that, knowing what we know, how are we going to stop this? Okay, so we try to think of all these things that we can do as a community and awareness and all this stuff, but it always brings me back to the kids because we were born into it, but yet now we're awake and, we have an obligation to teach children this truth, even with Santa Claus. That whole mess. But that's the only way this is going to stop, is if we start to take back our children's mindsets and teach them the truth about what it is that's going on. And that's going to entail taking your child out of school and homeschooling. And I know that's a lot. They have us in such a state now where 2 parents have to work. Half the time, that isn't even 2 parents in a household anyway. There's no way that a parent can take their kid out of school and stay home from work and school the kids. That's just an impossibility. That's all been done by design. They broke up the family unit years ago. And here we are. But now there's a wave of wakefulness coming upon everyone, and we're all waking up to this. And if my kids were small, I would be teaching this just like I did back then when I was learning all this stuff. And I'm still teaching them. They're still learning stuff from me every day.
Good.
As a matter of fact, when they come here and they're here for 5 days, they're going to learn a shit ton more stuff while they're here. So, yeah, and And I think that's where it's all going to start. It started with the kids, and it's going to end with the kids. This whole lie, this whole big ball of lies that we've been living in, this global ball of lies.
The literal ball of lies they've given to us, and it all revolves around the globe at the end of the day, I think, because how many like mathematical situations do we have in the globe that lead out to some Freemasonic number or literal 666? Like, so if the earth is a globe, it's sitting on an axis, which is ridiculous. First of all, the tilt is 23.4 degrees. I'm sure we all know this. You subtract that from 90 degrees, and what are you left with? 66.6. Right there. The sun, the heliocentric model. It's the god Helios, the Lucifer. It all goes back to Lucifer, but how far do they say the sun is? 93 million miles away.
Yeah.
You got your 9, you got your 3. And they work on duality and mirrors and mirroring and flipping numbers. So you got your 9-3, you flip that and mirror that, you got your 3-6 or your 6-3s, It's all right there. They all work on numbers. It's ridiculous.
Well, I used to think that, I used to believe, and I never used that word, but I did used to believe that we are in a duality reality here, or it's a duality reality. There's night and there's dark, there's love and there's hate, and there's all this stuff like that, and this is where we're at, and we have to experience all this. I'm starting to rethink that. I think maybe the duality part was put onto us by them, and you got to know love. Well, you have to know hate to know love, and all this stuff like that. I think that's not true. I don't know what the moon is, but it plays into this somehow, because there supposedly was a time before the moon, and that may have been when we were in that perfect balance of, love and light, and everything was perfect, and it became broken, and the moon came into being, and I think the moon has something to do with the reincarnation cycle. I think it's a soul catcher. That's what I think it is. There, I've said it. The way out is through the Son of God. And that's how we get out of here. So when you die, you go through the sun portal to get out. If you get looped around and you get sucked into the moon portal, you're going to reincarnate back here. And they want that. Because I was trying to understand the reincarnation cycle itself. Why is it even happening? The reason it's happening is because if people have a lot of, karma and all this stuff like that, and they have a very short lifespan, they never have a chance to right their wrongs or right the regrets that they had and everything like that, because your lifespan's cut short. And that's why they don't have us living 200-300 years like we should be, healthy and everything, because we figure all this stuff out and none of it will work on us. So they have to keep our lifespan short, and then we have to keep coming back, because we never fully get to do our full experience at one shot like we should, and then go. So, gosh, I just went off on that. But it's all connected. It literally is all connected. And
you're 100% there. The thing I find really strange about the moon is I feel that the face of the moon is changing itself. I don't quite know if that's like a Mandela effect, as some people say, but I think it's just part of the veil being thin, because I used to look at the moon and you could literally see a smiling face. But over the last 2 years or so, I've been hanging out with this chick, and she's thought the earth was flat her entire life, which I find very crazy, very interesting. Yeah, she's about 3 years younger than I am. She's only 21, and she's never once bought the globe lie, which I give her much credit to. And she pointed that out to me about a year or two ago, that the moon is changing for her. And then I started looking at the moon, and I haven't seen the moon look right in about fucking 2 years. Like she said, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember a few years back, even before the whole Mandela effect, I was hearing stuff about the moon doesn't look right, the moon's not in the right position. There was farmers' almanacs and people who, live off the land and know where the sun's supposed to be and the moon's supposed to be at certain times of the year and all this stuff like that. And they were saying the sun was all wrong, the moon was all wrong. And then the sun simulator stuff started coming out and everything.
Oh, what are your thoughts on the solar simulator? Because that is like my little expertise here in this community
you're gonna
as of
quote me
late.
on it. I do know some stuff. I know that there's patents for it. I've seen Richie from Boston's video. He did all on the patents and everything, and I was shocked. I was even shocked to see the patents for the tell lies to your vision and how that all mind fucks us. People. They use these technologies and they have no idea what they are really for and what they're about. And somebody made a comment that, the biggest thing that Lucifer's ever done was convince people that God doesn't exist. I think he's convinced people that he doesn't exist. Because
that's the biggest one. Yeah.
It's not that God doesn't exist, it's that he doesn't exist. Because people are running around worshiping him all day long and they don't even know that they're doing it.
They're stuck in the do as thou wilt lifestyle, and that's the lifestyle you can't be. That's that cycle you're talking about. That's that recycle lifestyle. Do as thou wilt. Don't care about who you affect. Don't care about any negative consequences. If I want to go out, get drunk tonight, grab 3 or 4 girls and go home, I might as well. That's the lifestyle these people choose to have, and they're going to have to answer for that sooner or later. Whether it's here or whether it's when the veil is 100% thinned, when it's just gone. Because the Bible does say that the sky will literally recede like a scroll. And that's when we're going to start seeing some crazy things, I think. That's just my opinion on it. Yeah, I can't wait. I think when they said first off, Revelations changed to Revelation. And it says in there that the sky will roll back like a scroll. Is that what you were saying? Absolutely. Yep.
I think maybe because I've been thinking a lot about the 3 days of darkness and all this stuff, that the scroll rolling is going to maybe take the moon out, or maybe because the ancient Arcadians had a story about a time before the moon, and when they talk about the moon coming into being, they talk about it being rolled across the sky and put in position. Now, of course, back then when I was hearing all this, they were thinking, aliens towed the moon into position and it's really an alien base, all that shit.
Right.
And I don't know what put it there or how it got there, but I don't think it's a natural part of, the original system that was created. I mean, I know in the Bible it even says God created the sun and the moon and all this stuff like that, but I think it got hijacked somewhere along the way. I definitely don't think it's something they can land on. So let's just say that there. I don't know what the moon is, but it definitely has an interdimensional quality to it. I think it's kind of like between dimensions.
Yes.
The sun's a portal out of here. Do you remember back when we used to watch all those like space scenes of the sun, and they're saying, "Oh, look at this comet! It's going into the sun," or we can see these objects coming in and out of the sun, or maybe the sun's a portal,
or flare coming out, or whatever.
And remember the whole tether incident? The tether.
Sounds familiar.
They had that thing out in space. It looks like it's glowing. It's a real long thing. It was like 78 miles long, this tether. And it was attracting all these things to it. And they looked like pulsating discs that were flying around it. But they were just kind of like puttering along, like, say, an amoeba. If you were looking under a microscope and you were looking at like amoebas and stuff, it kind of looked like that. And I bought all into the whole tether incident and space and everything. I'm like, look at this! Oh my God, it's a 2-mile wide UFO! And all this stuff. I don't know what those things were, but I definitely think that whole thing was like a psyop.
Is that the thing that SpaceX was taking credit for?
No, this was older than SpaceX. This was back.
A while ago.
This is one of those STS-75s or something like that. If you go on YouTube and type in the tether incident, STS something or other, like for NASA, you'll bring it right up.
It'll pop up.
Can you do it?
I can. Because
we'll share that shit. I haven't watched it in a while, but I was all into that whole thing and trying to figure out what that was. But I was still in space then, so. I think what they're doing is, they're running the whole space show. So they're going to do this whole, we see fake ISS stuff and all this crap like that. You're going to see fake UFO stuff is what they're putting out as well.
Oh, yeah. I remember this now. I'm looking at it here now.
90s, this thing, yeah.
Yeah, here, let me bring it up real quick. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Absolutely.
Should I share audio for it too, or?
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, the last video you played worked fine, so.
All right, let's try this out. All right. I don't know which one to click on, though.
A short one. Just do a short one. If there's any short.
There's a 2-minute one right here.
All right, there you go. All right,
Let me just full screen it real quick. All right. You can see that.
This television view now is of the mid-deck glove box experiment with ongoing operations there by Pilot Commander Franklin Chang Diaz on the lower deck of. This is Michigan Paul Houston again. Columbia and the satellite making its closest approach at this point.
I think this is it.
It said it was, I think.
Runaway. Oh, yeah. Your title says Runaway Satellite Spotted. You want to type in STS-75 Tether Incident. STS-75. Oh, yeah. That looks like it right there. That first one.
This one here is 17 minutes long, though.
All right, but you can just scroll through it a little.
Okay.
Yeah, just scroll through till you get to the tether part.
All right, let me see what we got here.
Thank you. I appreciate you doing all this.
No, you're good. You're good. I think it's about right here.
Look for that picture.
Is this full screen?
Yeah.
All right.
Or hold on. No, I'll try full screen over here so I can make it bigger. So that's the tether. To me, it looks like something that you see under a microscope, okay?
I was about to say some sort of mitochondria type deal.
Exactly.
That's all that is. That's all that is.
It's in space.
Are you serious? This is either made on no, yeah, you're right. This is some sort of bacterial something. This isn't space. What's all this?
They're going to zoom in on these UFOs. Wait till they zoom in and you see them.
Oh my gosh.
This is supposedly them adjusting the camera in space now, and now they're zooming in. Now this is a 78-mile long tether. So that these things going past it have to be 2-3 miles wide, supposedly.
That's ridiculous. That's just a bunch of dust particles.
Dude, people have made so many videos about this, have had conferences about it and all this stuff like that. They're saying that looks like a Dropa stone from the ancient Dropas. I think it's in India or something, where they actually found these discs carved out with these notches out of them. So they're saying that these UFOs with the circle in the center and that little notch on the end out of it is like a Dropa stone. So these ancient Indian people knew about these UFOs. That's why they carved them. And that's what we're looking at. And now I'm looking at it like, oh my God, this is fucking bullshit. They're playing both sides. They're playing the space and the aliens. You know, they're faking NASA and they're faking all the alien bullshit.
It's like having a coin that has two tails on it. You know, you're never gonna get heads.
They zoom in and there's like 1,000 UFOs around this fucking thing. If they're, of course they're not UFOs, but that's what they're saying.
That's ridiculous.
Just outside our atmosphere, by the way.
Right. Where's all the stars here, first of all? Wherever the hell this is being filmed from. That's ridiculous. NASA, whoever released it, this is probably a NASA video, I assume. This is just sad, man.
Yeah, it's a NASA video, and it supposedly had gotten leaked out, the tether incident, as they call it.
Literally just dust particles and some sort of cell.
They're kind of see-through. What they would say was, the guy who used to break all this down was that they're vibrating at such a high frequency that they're almost, translucent and stuff. And I bought all this shit, man. Hook, line, and sinker.
That's ridiculous. Not ridiculous that you fell for it, but it's just, oh my goodness. These people are out of control pushing this stuff. Let
that play a little bit. Let that UFO float by real quick. They're like, oh yeah, the UFOs are curious about the tether.
My God, here, let me just bring it back to where it first came in. Yeah. If anyone thinks that's real,
our atmosphere, yeah.
That's crazy. So all of these things are UFOs,
All these, yeah, it's like an ocean out there. They even said it. It looks like it's an ocean of UFOs swimming around, you know?
See, that's what I thought it was. It kind of looks like they're. So let's say you got a glass of water, a clear glass cap over it, and it has a little scratch. This is what I see as like not a scratch, but they place something on there, and this is everything just floating in the water underneath it. All the stuff rotating back and forth.
Yep.
Just either this is either the worst CGI imagery of all time, or it's just a microscope. That's ridiculous. Probably a combination of both.
Yeah. Now look at those ones. Oh, I should go on to a comment that's a little less. You can see how they're kind of like you can kind of see through them.
Yep, the ones with the disc. Yep, with the hole in the center.
There was this one scene, that one there, where you can actually see it pulsating as it's going by. And they were saying that, they're using this sort of technology where the energy is pulsing in and out, and that's how they're able to, be in one reality, and then they blink out and you can't see them. I mean, dude, the shit that I bought when I thought I knew what was going on, it was like, okay, look at that one blinking. Do you see it?
That's crazy.
All like going like that. It's crazy. I don't know what the fuck these things are, but they definitely aren't aliens in space. Okay.
No, 100% not. And another thing that pushes, like you were saying, how they just pulsate in and out of this like dimension or this reality. That sort of pushes the whole simulation universe type deal, which we know is 100% fabricated. There's no alternate realities. I don't think there's 97 million other versions of me according to the D-Wave computer, and they found all these other freaking realities of us. Like, right. No. Like,
yeah, I know. Or now they're trying to say like, oh, well, when you die, you just wake up and like nothing ever happened because you're in another timeline where you're still alive now and stuff like that. They're trying to squeeze out, leaving this place and getting out of here. You're just going to wake up. You're just going to be doing something else like nothing ever happened. But in the other timeline, your family's mourning you because you woke up dead. But here you're waking up like it's just another day and your family's still all here and stuff. And you don't even know what happened.
And if that was the case, don't you think I would like retain all the information I learned from my past life onto my next one?
Exactly.
If this was, no.
Let's get into past life real quick. There are children out there now. I've only seen it on YouTube or Tell Lies to Your Vision, where they talk about reincarnation, and there's small children who recall their past lives, how they died. It's very traumatic. They have night terrors. They remember the people in their family. Some of their siblings are still alive. Maybe they're in their 80s or something when this kid was just born. And he can name them and everything. So that person was obviously recycled back in. And yes, I think that there's a part of the consciousness that's still, the third eye is still pretty open. Now, this is going back years, though. I'm not saying this happens now because I think that they've pumped the kids up with so many shots now that there's no way their third eye is going to be open at all, let alone
so many.
Until maybe 5. But back in the day, you would hear a lot of these people that would remember their past lives, and they remember them at a very young age, and they remember details like of being in the war, their plane being shot down, being on fire inside the plane. They remember, where they lived, who their parents were, all this stuff. Some of the people are still alive. So there is definitely a reincarnation cycle taking place, and it's about 60 to 200 years, this cycle. Where you go and how long you stay where they have you until you recycle back. I don't know how all that works and how it plays into everything. But I can tell you what, we definitely do not have the whole story. The Bible, heaven and hell, God and Satan, and all this stuff with Jesus and everything else is not the whole story. I'm leaning more towards story itself. And I was like, oh, you don't believe in Jesus, you're not saved, all this stuff. Or why would Jesus let this happen? How could there even be a God? The people are atheists and stuff like that. We don't have the whole story. That's all I can say about that. And they are doing their damnedest to keep it from us. And now the flat earth is coming out. They can't stop that. They knew that was coming. And it's like, to me, the whole thing with the Mandela effect and the revealing, Brian says a lot of times he thinks it's got good aspects and bad aspects, that there's actually a tug of war going on between, some light and darkness or whatever, because some of them seem very revealing and could be considered not positive, but yeah, you need to know this, and if you know it, then it's a positive thing. But, like the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. I know it never said wolf, but the wolf is dwelling with the lamb. It's a clear message. Look at what the fuck's going on. The wolf's dwelling with the lamb. I can't deny it. It's true. I know it wasn't like that originally, but it is a true statement. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's, go ahead.
No, yeah, I think Brian is about 100% right with that, because on one hand you got South America changing, and I think that's one of the more positive ones, you could put it that way, because it only works on a flat Earth model, which takes you away from the globe lie, the evolution lie, the Bill Nye tells you that you're a piece of shit lie, that we're actually more than just a speck of dust in the ever expanding universe, the soulless, godless universe.
Yeah.
And so I think South America showing us the flat Earth model, that's one of the more positive ones. Now, the negative ones that I feel are more provoked by the dark side, which might not even be like, see, it's really hard. It's really hard with these Mandela effects. Like, you got the Mr. Rogers one. I think that's a very negative one in a way, because you have Tom Hanks in there. He's got his little cocksucking smile all the time that I want to kick off his face. I can't stand that guy. You got Ed McMahon. That's probably one of the most demonic ones, I think, because now you have all these backstory commercials coming out that make no sense. Okay, so
first off, I don't want to cut you off, but Tom Hanks is a high-level priest in the Satanic Order. Jim Carrey is a high-level priest in the Satanic Order. He may be at the head of it. Him and Tom Cruise are neck and neck. I'm not sure who's the head of it, but there's always a head and people below them. Ed McMahon is not a good guy and never was a good guy, okay? He was a high priest in this order as well. And it seems like that these people, Sally Fields, all this crap, like they're all involved in this Mandela effect somehow. Yes, there's a supernatural element to it, and yes, there's a good side to it, and we have not, it's not like we can walk out our door and just, meet this awesome entity or whatever, but you can definitely feel and see the negative entity around us all the time. We're surrounded by it. And I definitely feel like it's a spiritual battle that's manifesting here physically in our reality, and we are here to observe it, yet we're stuck in the middle of it also as well.
Yeah, so the way I like to see it, so I think that this place where we are now, we call, Earth, this realm, this dimension, I think it's all just a test. I think people like-minded people like you, myself, Stavely, RFB, and all other people, I think that, like you said, we got caught in the cycle before. And I think we really, really effed up in our last life. And this is like our last chance to make right with everything that whatever created us, to get right with the whole creation aspect.
Right. So check this out. The Bible tells us the only way you can be saved is to be saved through Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Right? The way out is through the Son. The kingdom of heaven is within you, but you have to be saved by Jesus, and you can only get to the kingdom of heaven through Jesus. Okay? So Jesus is the Son. But people don't know that. They think he's the Son of God and a person or an entity of some sort. When actually, like they've always told us, we're on a planet. We're on a planet, They've always told us the way to get out of here is through the Son, but they're telling us this is the Son of God. It's a person. Like they give us that figure to worship or whatever, when actually it's the Son itself. And that's the way out. But nobody knows that because they're thinking they have to go through this entity, you know what I'm saying? Jesus or this figure or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So they always tell us, but they tell us to where it's skewed and they have us seeing it a certain way. They've always told us we're on a planet. They just call it planet, and they have us spinning in space with a bunch of other planets. But it's a planet. It's a smaller version of the larger plane because we're walled off by the domes. We're in our planet.
Exactly. And just like in Greek, planet breaks down to just a plane, and What
I'm
were you
not
saying?
bagging on Jesus here. I'm not bagging on
No.
Jesus, but I'm just saying, who gave us all this stuff?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say here.
It's a nice, happy story, but could it still be another level of deception?
Absolutely.
To keep us coming back here? If you think you're going to go get saved by Jesus, and when you die, you don't know to go through the portal, you get sucked into the fucking moon because Jesus is over there waving at you. You know what I mean? And so you're back again. And they need us back here each time because they can't exist without us here.
Well, it's like this, the Bible, even the King James Bible, the Bible that everyone follows upon. King James was a Freemason. King James was a Jesuit. And regardless, even if the Bible, obviously it wasn't written by God himself. It was written by men inspired by God. But men are corrupt. Men are evil. Men are devious. Men are easily fooled and persuaded to do things for money, for materialistic things. Yeah. So who's to say that there could be good 75%, 100% spot on accurate things in the Bible, but you have people like King James who, probably read the Bible for what it was in its original Hebrew, Roman text or whatever it was back then, and translated it to English, but added a couple things to keep us on the path of Luciferian rather than being 100% committed to the path of whatever you want to call it, the path of light, the path of actual consciousness.
Yeah, I think we come here to experience the physicality of this creation that we're in, and to be here, you're going to have to be one of the elements or an animal or something else, human, and then we come and then we go on our own choice.
Exactly, free will.
But they have us trapped by dogma and all this information. That's I can tell you that thing sitting in front of you that you're talking to me on right now is a pancake, and I've told you all your life it's a pancake. Pour syrup on it, you can eat it, but actually it's a computer, and you can communicate with all these different people. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what I'm looking at it now. It's like, and people are so entrenched in Jesus and being saved and all this stuff like that, and I don't want to say everybody's being misled, but it all comes down to our lifespans have been shortened for a reason. And especially at this particular time that we're in, it is so important to have our lifespans shortened, because if we lived longer than 100, or even if we lived up into our 80s healthy, we would figure all this shit out. No, everybody has Alzheimer's now. By the time you're 60, 65, you're entering Alzheimer's. By the time you're 70, 80, you have dementia. You don't even know your kid's name or anything. You can't pass on any wisdom or knowledge to anybody because you don't even know who the hell you are or who your family is. And this has all been done by design at this particular time, especially with, all this information being revealed, because we're in the time of revealing. That's why they work so hard through all these centuries to, shorten our lifespans, propagate on us all this toxicity that's around us. You would think to yourself, like, who the fuck's brilliant idea was GMOs? They had to have known what it was going to do to people before they put it out onto us. But no, here we are. Everything's GMO, and everybody's buying it up. Even if you show them the information all day long, they're still buying it up. And cancer's still running rampant, and everybody's dying off, or having heart attacks. It's just like, it's crazy. But it's being done by design. And I feel like the reason for it all always has been to keep our lifespan short so we don't figure this out. And we have to keep coming back. They don't want to lose too many of us. Because if we all get out of here, they're only going to have themselves to feed on.
Exactly. They feed on power. They feed on fear. Fear gives them power is what I was trying to say there. But if evolution was real, I like to point out to everyone real quick, if evolution, the Big Bang and all that crap was real, our lifespans would be getting longer instead of shorter. Because you have in the Bible, God back in the day, I think the for the most part, the first part of the Bible spot on. There's people living, 600, 700, 800, 900 years.
Exactly.
You can't have that now because I'm 24. Look what I found out in 24 years. Give me 24 more years. I'll find out more. Give me 900 more years. I'm not going to find out the secrets of creation, but I'll be pretty goddamn close.
Look, there's a method to their madness, and they've been doing this a very long time, and they're going to continue to do it if we allow it. And also, we have a very short time to work in. Our lifespans have been cut short. I know I'm not going to live to my full potential. Most people, will develop this, that, and the other thing. And even when you're sick and dying, you don't have time to learn and to share and all this stuff because you're too busy trying to stay alive and take all these medicines and everything else like that. But it's been done by design. The Bible was given to us by design. It's no accident that the King James Bible is the most important and most read Bible in the world. All these people who wrote this stuff and they translate it and everything, they're all Masons. They're all in on the club. The Vatican runs everything. We already know what that kind of pedo fest is over there and all their rituals and everything. I'm just really starting to see everything for what it is now. And although the concept of Jesus and all that stuff and everything is a really nice concept, and I don't think there's much wrong with it. However, the kingdom of heaven is within you.
Yes, and they're trying to destroy that.
And here is your temple, and your third eye is your connection to the Creator, whatever's beyond this dome that we're in.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like when you go down in a submarine. You're in another world down there, but you still have a connection to the people up top because you have communication. They cut our communication with the Creator. So we're here just bobbing around on our own, and they took that opportunity to propagate onto us all these lies. Oh yeah, that's the sun. Yeah, and it's there's a moon and all this stuff like that, and that's just stuff up there that God put there, and it's all good. But if you want to be saved and get out of here, you have to go through this over here, and it's not. They've never given us the right information. They know exactly what this place is, how it works, how it's all laid out. They got it all mapped out, and they ain't telling nobody.
Yeah, it's all control. They like we were talking about, they can't let the entire population know the world is flat because there goes their whole Scientology, their whole Satanist science agenda. It goes out the window that way. And so if let's say NASA waited 10 years, I think they had to do NASA the second they had to, because what happened right after NASA was formed, you had the Antarctic Treaty. And, we said back to NASA, it was formed upon Nazi scientists. And no one knows that. No one knows that. And no one also knows what NASA actually means when it's broken down, and it's in Hebrew. It means to deceive. People have no idea. And you're
running around with these shirts on all day long. It's pathetic.
Even everyone. It's clearly you could see like a snake's tongue in the logo itself.
Yes.
NASA, you got your repeating letters, your ASA that goes back to the Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons type deal, the OTO. They love the repeating. They were talking about the duality before. It's not a world of duality. It's a world of duality that they're portraying us in.
Yeah.
Because they need us to. So like we were talking about before, free will. That was the first. That was the first sin, pretty much, because we chose to want to be like gods. We chose to learn the information of the gods. We ate from the tree of knowledge, and I think that the first sin is going to be the last sin if we go down this 5G route that we're gonna start going down. 2020 is right around the corner, literally.
Yeah,
days away.
The meme now is 2020 perfect vision, and 2020 is gonna be perfect vision.
Yeah,
I think 2020 is going to be some seriously muffed up shit that they're going to be rolling out on us, and it's going to make us even more blinded to the stuff that's going on, or at least it will try to keep the people who aren't quite awake yet blinded. It's not going to be clear vision. You have to think in opposites when these people put this shit out. Like Donald Trump's Space Force, they're forcing space on us. That's all they're saying. We need a space force. He's saying they're waking up the flat earth guys. We need to force space on these people. Let's get the propaganda going. And that's what's going on. That's just how I see it.
No, you're 100% right. They're forcing this fake alien agenda upon us. And you were showing me the video. We showed everyone the video. The Werner von Braun, pretty much the whistleblower, his own whistleblower is the lady that was caretaking him for the last 10 years of his life or whatever she was saying. And So you have stuff like Operation Bluebeam that's been in effect forever. And just recently, I think it was last Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago. I don't follow sports at all, but at the Baltimore Ravens game, they had a literally like a 30, 40-foot hologram of a giant raven flying around the stadium.
Oh my God.
And it was so real.
Yeah,
it created its own shadow too. That's how good these. Yeah, that was just 2 weeks ago.
Have you seen the footage of a drones taking the shape of a 747?
Yeah, and then yeah, man, I've seen that, and I've seen orbs just spray chemtrails. There's no actual plane there, but there's a trail coming out of it the entire time. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on up there. Me and Stavely talked about this plenty of times. It's like what we sort of believe in is that, so you got spraying chemtrails for the greater part of the last, I don't know, probably 30 years, 40 years. And so they had to do that because it normalized us with the sky. You know, you could tell people to look up at the sky, and only 1 in like 20 people are going to understand what you're talking about. It's so normalized that they have the chemtrails with the sky riders, the clouds that are just literally just X's or the square looking clouds.
I've even talked to people who were in their 50s and 60s, and they swear that they are from jets, just regular traffic. And I'm like, dude, you were in the Air Force. So you seriously think that's just air traffic? Like, don't you know what a condensation trail is? Do I have to explain this to you? I mean, you were in the military, for Christ's sake. And that blows me away. It's like, what the fuck? Maybe they're NPCs, they're taking some kind of update. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. Above 35,000 feet, it is clear blue skies. So they're hiding something. That's like this middle layer between the stratosphere and us on the ground, and they're blocking something out. I don't know if they're hiding it from us that we won't see, or whatever's looking down at us won't see, because it looks like a veil over the earth when you're up there, a murky veil over the earth.
But what do you think about, have you noticed the chemtrails and the clouds being a lot lower than you've ever noticed? Yeah, what do you think about that? Because that boggles my mind. Me and Brian were talking about a possible a shrinking of the earth in a way. Maybe not in a physical way, but maybe the dome oppressing itself down on us, and maybe the dome will just shrink so far it'll just go poof, and then, there goes the sky receding.
Maybe they're trying to poke through on one of the sides of the dome, and the pressure's coming out.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere's, like a balloon.
Yeah.
You out that hole, it kind of gets all, and then you put a plug in it, but you're smaller and tighter, and then you let a little more out. I mean, I don't know, but they're wanting to shatter that glass ceiling and all this other shit. If there's water above us.
Yeah, the firmament. Yeah, the water's above, the water's below. And that goes back to their little ancient duality thing, because they put it in plain sight, as above, so below. They use that to their advantage, saying as there's a God upstairs, but hey, got the God downstairs. They use that their way, but it's another way to look at it like this. The Bible talks about how the firmament was made to separate the waters from the waters. So there's waters up here, and then there's waters down here. So that's just another way to look at it as, because they push the duality thing on us so hard and so often. They tell us it's A, but in reality it's C, like too often. It's with the globe. They tell us it's a globe when it's observably flat and doesn't rotate at all. There's no space. Do people really think they could see a light in the sky that's 10 fucking light years away? No, you can't even go outside and see 5 miles on a nice hazy chemtrail filled day. It's ridiculous. Oh, people think they can see a.
Have you ever seen when those two oceans meet? I don't know if it's the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean or something like that, or where there's actually a line between the two waters. Every time I hear that, the dividing of waters and stuff, I always think of that, and I was just going to try to bring it up.
Well, you ever see a video where they're probably a good 10, 20,000 feet in a submarine below the surface of the earth or the ocean? and they break a barrier. They go into a lake that's inside the water from the waters, just like that. People have no idea.
Yeah. I'm going to send you this little clip. We'll play it. I don't know if everybody knows about this, but it's pretty freaky. And I don't think it is what they're telling us. The scientific reason they give for this phenomenon occurring, I don't think is correct. I think it has to do with something else. And it has to do probably with the structure and layout of our plane that we're on. All right, so I'm going to send it to you now.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah, another thing I like to tell people, life's a stage, the world's a stage, but stages are flat.
That's right, baby. They're flat.
All right, let me get this queued up here. Hold on, let me let the ad play first. I don't want to.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, don't play the ad.
Sometimes they give you a strike for playing the ad. How stupid is that?
Fuck YouTube.
Fuck them.
YouTube.
All right.
But I got
exactly. Right in the ass. Right up the ass. Give them that. All right. Let me get this queued up. Let me get some audio on there. All right. Let me get this full screen in. All right. Let's just let this play for a second. Oh.
Probably most people know about this, but maybe some guys don't and figure, what the heck.
What you're looking at in this footage is freshwater meeting seawater, which was filmed where the Fraser River enters the Strait of Georgia in Vancouver, Canada. This is where the freshwater of the river, which is full of silt, meets the denser clear blue salt water of the ocean, making it look like there are two separate bodies of water not mixing. Now, it may appear like the freshwater is pushing back the seawater and creating this boundary between the two waters, but that's not the case. The two waters are mixing. It just doesn't look like it. When the freshwater crosses the boundary to become salt water, it suddenly becomes very clear, which is why the boundary seems to be
that shit is crazy.
Dirty in clear waters.
No shit. What if I put my hand on one side and splash it to the other? I wonder what that would do. Probably nothing, but it'd be kind of cool to see,
Of the river.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. That is almost as insane as that barrier that's under the water that submarine was just bouncing off of, and they couldn't get through it.
Yeah, that was the thing. They couldn't get through it.
I don't buy their scientific reason for that. I just don't buy it. It's something else.
So where it may
no, it's definitely perfect creation, and they'll give you the scientific answer on it, but we all know that whatever put us here took some sort of perfection formula to everything, because everything's just perfect. You, me, dogs, birds, animals, plants, trees, they all grow perfect. They all grow perfect with just a little water and a little bit of energy. That's all you need.
Ganafal's asking if they mix. They don't mix. I don't know what would happen if you were on a boat and you rode through that from one side to the other, but pull through on the wake, or it just automatically separates back out, because they never actually show that part. But that shit is fucking freaky. There's just more to that than what they're fucking telling us. I know it.
That's like the whole land thing. What do you think about the land on the flat Earth map? Do you think they're hiding more land, or?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's too much of a chunk of ocean it's just.
Yeah.
There's no way, and I don't believe they're bullshit anymore. So anything is on the table at this point. They could be hiding multiple continents from us.
No shit. I know that.
Civilization they're hiding from us that they don't want us to know about. Maybe, I don't know.
Anunnaki or some sort of Vril society type deal.
Yeah, there's something going on in Antarctic. Whether they're in contact with whatever's on the other side, or between us and the other dome is a between dimension. I would say it is, and there may be things that are there between the domes that live in those spaces. And I think that might be where the Greys are from.
The Greys, yeah, man. The Greys are crazy. People think the Greys are aliens, dude, but there's 100% concrete evidence, I believe, that that Greys are nothing more than just if not Nephilim beings, then 100% fallen angels. Because I might get the year wrong here, but it's either 1942 or 1937. I know those are two completely different years, but from January to March, there was a 3-month ritual going on. They called it Project Babylon Rising. That was Aleister Crowley, that was Jack Parsons, and L. Ron Hubbard. That was the day Aleister Crowley anointed himself as the Antichrist, and they, I don't want to get too in depth with graphic wise, but they impregnated a girl, and within 3 months, it gave birth to something. And what Aleister Crowley drew of it giving birth to is what the entire public knows as a gray alien.
Yeah. And
It's
he was
ridiculous.
he was in contact with one of those things as well. Like when he would do the rituals and stuff, that's what he was bringing forth. And
yeah, I'm gonna get a picture up real quick if I could share that. Just give me like 2 minutes to find this though. But yeah, keep going. You're good.
Yeah, I'm going to give a quick shout out here. We've had some extra people come in. I got 40 people here on Christmas Eve, on the winter solstice eve. All right, let's see who we got here. Third party, what's up? Bobby Up, how you doing? And I got Brian with the wrench. He said there was a troll in here or something earlier. I didn't see it. Maybe it has something to do with the dome. That's my sister right there, Melissa Perriton. Yes, I think it does have something to do with the dome.
Oh, what the hell am I doing right now? Shit.
Who else we got here tonight? Let me scroll up here. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. We are live on the Ripple Effect. TTS69 and Steve JMO.
In the house.
That's right, baby. Drinking a little wine tonight. Just a little, not too much.
Yeah, nothing wrong with little wine.
Okay, you ready?
I got it. Yep, I got it up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what the man drew.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at that. And people think that's an alien from a different dimension. That looks sinister. This guy's literally on the back of your $1 bill for people that don't know. It's ridiculous.
I have seen that. Yes, you should get that up if you can. But yeah, I got it. It was. It looks like an alien head, just like that.
It does. Yeah. Here, I'll end that real quick, and I can get that up right now. Actually, here.
Okay, you get that up, and when you get it up, and you start talking about it, I'm gonna go run to the ladies' room real quick.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Because I got a whole bunch of other stuff to even get into. We haven't even got to yet.
I cannot wait. All right, here we go. I got it right here. And here, let me just end this one. We'll do a new screen share over here. Chrome tab, US dollar, alien, and should be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. That's it right there. I'll be right back.
Yep, take your time. And yeah, like I was saying before, guys, this is nothing new. This is all fabricated, or not fabricated. This is all just done in the name of Lucifer, of deception, of Satan. You got it's honestly ridiculous. It's right on the back of your dollar bill. You got what Aleister Crowley drew when he literally conjured it during a 3-month ritual called Babylon Rising. And for what people don't know about Babylon is when they tried to literally get a tower high enough to penetrate the dome. So people just have to wake up and understand the fact that they're going to try to do this again. Nothing new under the sun. And there are reports, and even people like Awakened Saint, I know you guys all know who that is. He's even talked about how he's flown over in, I think it's Afghanistan or Iraq, where the Tower of Babel actually stood. He's flown over it in his, what do you call it? What does he do? He's a helicopter flight instructor, exactly. He over his helicopter, he's flown over it, and they're rebuilding it. They're rebuilding it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Then you got things out in Switzerland like ITER, and ITER, it's like a plasma gun in a way. If people look it up, and people that are Richie from Boston, Big Sib, they break it down very well on what exactly they're doing at ITER. And I think it was Richie and who's that guy? Jesus Free Computer Geek. Yeah, him and Richie went on a couple good 2-hour stream, maybe it was a 3-hour stream. They talked about how ITER could possibly be a angel killing weapon in a way, and it all comes back to what's on the back of the dollar bill. It's the alien deception, because they're gonna portray these things to come down like aliens, and then let's say the whole Bible thing kind of turns out to be right, and this Jesus figure does come back. They're not gonna want him to come into this reality, man. They're gonna need something to shoot him down. And
Absolutely.
and this new ITER machine that they're working on in Switzerland, which is just 50 miles down the street from CERN, less than 100 miles from the what's the tunnel they had there?
The Goddard Tunnel?
Yeah, man, yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah, they're all in the same vicinity. They're all within 100, 200 miles of each other, those 3 locations that just happen to be in Switzerland. Yeah. What else is supposedly in Switzerland? The ancient, what do you call it? The chamber. No. Well, CERN is supposedly located over the pit. Yeah, where Apollyon, where Abaddon, where Nimrod is located, his spirit.
Right.
And if they're gonna see, people think CERN is just NASA for the for Europe basically, but even NASA throws out real things, not space wise, but NASA does have weather manipulation patents, which we all know are real, which we all know they use, because I don't go a day here in Massachusetts without them spraying the sky beyond belief, and I don't go 2 or 3 days without it raining or snowing or anything like that. So these weather modification devices are obviously real. And so when you have people at CERN saying they're opening doors to other dimensions, and then they go out on another limb and say, oh, well, we're just opening black holes, Well, hey, asshole, black holes are still a theory, and opening a hole to another dimension is still a theory. What they're actually doing, I think, are just punching. I don't know if they're microscopic. I don't know if they're holes the size of my house, but they're somehow, some way punching holes in the veil, which is and a location which is supposedly over the pit of fucking Lucifer, Abaddon, Apollyon, Apollo, and they're getting information. That's the scary thing, I think, and people overlook that. But it could just be a whole horse and pony show, because most of the things are nowadays. But I firmly believe that why would CERN have a statue to Shiva, the god or goddess of destruction?
Exactly.
And then they're caught doing pictures, and they're caught doing mock rituals where they're allegedly just faking killing someone. But who even knows if that was real or not? It's all everything they do. It's done with control. The flat Earth came on YouTube. It came on YouTube in a controlled manner. They everything they do. 9/11 was even done on a controlled manner. The truth part of it, because what was the first thing they released? They released things like 9 or September Clues, and little documentaries like that, which were 60% truth, 40% bullshit. And it's all a controlled release, all these things. So when the next major event to comes, just know that it's going to be a controlled release. And, I'm on the fence. I'm with, RV was talking a couple weeks ago how, America's overdue, I think, for another 9/11 type deal. And they're going to have to, I think they're going to do one on the West Coast. And a lot of arrows, a lot of directions point me towards the Golden Gate Bridge, because
I think the next event's going to be the alien deception. And remember the battle for LA
when they
Yeah.
had that thing. That was with all these objects they were supposedly firing on and stuff. Whether that it was a beta test for their blue beam, I don't know. But they are very more advanced than they tell us. And I think that's what the next event will be. Whether it's on the West Coast or not, the American people are prime ready for it. So, I think it'll definitely be somewhere here in America that it's going to take place first.
Yeah. The only reason why I think that there's going to be some other event, sort of like 9/11. I know there's going to be the fake alien invasion type deal, but that's going to be a worldwide event, I think. But you got the Golden Gate Bridge, you got Golden Gate, GG. You put those two numbers together on a Pythagorean numerology calculator. You go to G, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which is 7. But you go from 7 all the way back to where G is again. It's 33. It's 33.
Yeah.
And what color is the Golden Gate? It's not gold. It's actually orange. Orange is the only color in
33.
numerology, breaks down to 33. And what year was the Golden Gate the building start? When was the first construction started? 1933.
Yeah, they're very ritualistic in their plans, and they have to.
Yeah, even Donald Trump. I love and I laugh at the people who say that are truthers, that are quote unquote truthers that believe in Donald Trump. Trump is a 33 name, people. Orange is the color of his skin. Orange is 33. It's all right there. He's trying to
He looks like Oompa Loompa.
He is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I know people aren't really big on the whole cloning deal. I don't think clones are real, but there are lookalikes. And I know that there are probably 2 or 3 Trumps going around saying they're Trump, but in reality, they're all
they
just
had
actors.
They had multiple Hillarys running around.
Well, which one of them pretty much died. I don't know if you saw that video where they just dragged her out of the damn building.
Yeah.
The back
And
of
then 5 minutes later, she's fine coming out of a hotel room like, hey, I'm just fine. They switched them up. That's all they did.
Yeah, exactly. It's some crazy stuff, man.
It really is. Okay, so what we want to get into next here is I reposted one of my old videos I did a couple of months back about the Sargasso Sea. Have you ever heard of the Sargasso Sea?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Okay. I want you to Google Sargasso Sea maps and bring up the images.
Sargasso. How do you spell that? SAR
GASSO. Sargasso Sea.
Map
Or maps.
Images. What the fuck? What the fuck is that?
Dude, I'm telling you, when I saw this shit, I'm like, no fucking way. No way. And now that I've seen it, I see it coming up on all the globes. It's like before it was like I found it on a couple of things. And then ever since I started talking about it, it's kind of like Brian, like he talks about something and the Mandela effect gets worse or something. Now it's everywhere, the Sargasso Sea. Oh, hold on. I'm bringing it up right now. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I just had to.
Okay, you can click on any one of these as we're talking and we'll look at them because this is just some crazy shit.
Yeah. Where did this even come from?
Exactly. Now, I did the research on it. It's been documented since back before Columbus. Marco Polo wrote about it. I've never heard of it, learned about it, or nothing, ever. I've never even seen it on a map. I was really into the Bermuda Triangle area, all this underwater archaeology stuff and everything. I've never, ever seen a Sargasso Sea in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
No, I was very interested and wanted to learn about geography as a kid. All the seas and the continents. How many continents do you remember?
Oh God, I don't even. Well, there were supposed to be 7 seas and I want to say 9 or 10 continents or something.
Well, you got North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. That's all I was taught. Well, apparently there's 8.
8, okay.
Yeah, there's a new one. I forget. Like, give me 1 second. I can get the name of it right now. It's some weird name that no one's ever heard of before, like the Sargasso Sea or something.
I mean, this is fucking crazy. I'm like, what the hell is a Sargasso Sea? So I look, and I went to the library and I saw this thing on the globe, and I'm like, this isn't right. I gotta look at this. I gotta look this up. And I did a video about it, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna put it out there and see what people say, because I know maps and geography. I mean, I know all about the Mariana Trench and all the stuff around Cuba and the Bermuda Triangle. Not once have I ever seen anywhere in that area referred to as the Sargasso Sea. And the sea is comprised of Sargasso seaweed. That's what it is. It's a seaweed. It's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And you can even look up old maps. You'll see old maps with the Sargasso Sea all over it.
That blows me away. I've never seen anything like that either.
And next time you globe somewhere, like I was in Walmart and I went over to their home goods section, and they had like these globes that you would put in your house, just for aesthetics. But there it is right there on these little fucking globes, Sargasso Sea, North Atlantic Ocean. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I would have learned about that years ago. That's crazy. Sargasso.
Now, I have had people tell me, not very many, but a few comments that said that they learned about it, or they've heard about it, or seen it in a movie, referred to in a movie or a song. I'm like, what? No.
Never heard about that in their life, and they're just being trolls, I think, because just like you, I've dug into a lot of research with the Bermuda Triangle, and that would be impossible for me not to hear about the Sargasso Sea. Well, what are your views on the Bermuda Triangle? Because I
think I don't know what's under the water. I can only go by what they've shown us, but I think it's definitely maybe one of those nodes, a vortex node where ley lines intersect. And right there in that part of the ocean is where it's called a node, where like more than two intersect, and it's a very high, powerful vortex energy spot. And if the conditions are right, and things are where they're supposed to be in the heavens, maybe, I don't know, maybe it opens up some sort of a portal, or because we really don't know the true nature of this plane that we're on. It's probably very magical and amazing, and all this information's hidden from us. So they give us this lie, like, there's a pyramid under there with a crystal on top. That's what the problem is, and it's sunk in Atlantis or something. I think it has a whole nother probably reason for things happening there and stuff.
No, that's not bad. Well, see, my issue with the whole Bermuda Triangle is, well, you see how Florida is just right here, Cape Canaveral, Kennedy Space Station, all that great stuff. Mm-hmm. What if they just what did I just do? Well, that's fine. We could stay on here. But what if they just made up this Bermuda Triangle idea so people didn't travel over there to see all of the NASA bullshit rockets just launched out?
Exactly. Definitely. It's definitely a cover story. The whole Bermuda Triangle scenario of what's going on with it.
Exactly. Whether it's a portal, whether it's Atlantis, or whether it's just a seed dump full of, the Apollo, 1 through 17 mission, just, all of their crap and all the other Pathfinders and all the SpaceX junk just floating around in sea there, and they don't want no commercial airliners to go over, and people be like, oh, what's all that stuff, or a Carnival cruise going out that way. They all have routes because they can't let you see any of that stuff if that is in fact what. But it could also be, like you're saying, I've never really shied away of it being some sort of an important place like an Atlantis type deal or anything like that. But I just think it's very crazy how through years of just geography research and just, going through all the other conspiracies, how we would miss this.
Right. So getting back to the ley lines, when I learned about ley lines, I was learning them on the globe model. And, where ones intersect, and the Mary and the John, I think it is, ley line in England. They have all these cathedrals built along these ley lines. And, the cathedrals themselves are high energy vibrations that they've created, and the windows, the whole architecture itself is to harness the energy that's on this ley line. And so when you take the ley lines off of the globe and put them down on the flat map, that is some interesting stuff. That is some really interesting stuff.
Absolutely, because you got the 33rd degree parallel going through Giza, going through Dallas, Texas, where JFK was shot, going all the way through Roswell, New Mexico.
Right.
You know what's really funny about Roswell, New Mexico? In the New Mexican desert somewhere is where Crowley and all his little minions did the Babylon Rising ritual for 3 months. I just think that's rather effed up too.
Yeah. A lot of weird stuff going on back then. There's definitely lines that they were crossing, and they have all this secret knowledge hidden from us. And they're using it to their advantage. It's like a football team. You got a secret play that the other team doesn't know about, and you wind up getting a touchdown, and you're always winning because they can't figure out your secret play. So in that respect, we're always going to be their bitches.
They're literally a couple hundred years ahead of us.
Absolutely.
As I've shown people patents for weather manipulation, for simple weather manipulation. It was the process of what was it? The process of making artificial rainfall, which is literally a U.S. patent.
Yeah.
Jen, it went back to 1811, but they've removed that because I showed so many people that it's ridiculous.
So Moneybag 73 just did a video about the hurricane that was off the coast, the East Coast on 9/11 that was supposed to hit, but somehow managed to just kind of hug the coast and go off on its own way. Or it actually kind of stalled out there in the ocean. It never actually made it inland.
I remember that.
For him, it's a Mandela effect. He had never heard of this hurricane. And now I remember in my research, I didn't hear of it as the whole event was occurring, but later on in my research, about 6 years after the fact of 9/11, is when I learned about the weather modification and all this stuff, and that hurricane that was off the coast, and that this hurricane was coming in, but it was going to fuck up their plans. So they had to use HARP or whatever it was to keep this thing just off the coast and, just kind of hugging the coastline, maybe 500 miles off the coast and spinning out there, where it was actually supposed to hit 3 hours. I think like 3 hours before 9/11 happened, it was supposed to be making landfall. Crazy.
Yeah, they do that. Whether it's HARP, whether it's NextRad, Doppler, they all.
That NextRad stuff is crazy. That NextRad stuff is seriously crazy. When you see them out in them barges and they're taking them all out in the ocean and shit, and they do some fucked up crazy shit with that stuff.
And the way I see it, it was not even just for the 9/11 thing with the hurricane, but that's how they keep these storms moving throughout the United States. So like they'll conjure up a storm out in Alaska at the HARP base, for let's say, and then they'll push it across the United States, and they will after it'll go over a NextRad station, and then or a Doppler station.
Yeah.
And people think that these Doppler stations are just, they're mapping out what the weather is, but in reality, they're juicing it with more frequencies to just push it further that way and keep it at the strength that it was.
Yeah.
And, people just think that they have people on TV like the 22 News or Channel 6 or whatever it may be. Our Doppler radar says, well, no, your Doppler radar is the fucking weather, asshole.
Yeah. And then they have those factories all through like the center of the United States, from like Louisiana all the way straight up until like Ohio and all that stuff. You can see when you watch the weather, these plumes popping up, these little circles, and then they expand out all the way up. And I forget who the heck it was I was listening to a few years ago, and they're like, yeah, there are those factories that are putting out all this cloud stuff that's making these storms. So you see the storm coming in, but before the storm even comes in, you see all these blue dots popping off all along the center of the United States, and then it becomes this atmospheric river that dumps like huge amounts of rain all along the New Madrid fault line and stuff like that. And it was just crazy stuff that I was learning back then. But yeah, they totally control the weather.
Yeah, it's
Our weather
ridiculous.
is 100% artificial.
Oh, 100%. And,
Yeah.
you know, even factories over here, you know, there's a Bayer Monsanto factory that's literally the size of a city, first of all. And second of all, it only you only see like thick clouds coming or whatever steam is coming out of the top of the, you know, of the 7, 8, 9 pipes that go straight in the air. You only see it puffing out smoke on days where it's gonna rain tomorrow, or it's already storming out, or there's, you know, X'd out chemtrails in the sky as far as the eye can see. And you know, I go out almost every day to catch chemtrails in the sky because it's a daily epidemic where I am, and people don't understand that. I have a friend. She lives in Florida. She's up visiting for the week, and the first I haven't seen her in about 2 years, and the first thing she said to me is, "Wow, the clouds are really different up here than they are down there." I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit. No wonder why we're all pissed off up here in the Northeast 24/7. Because they're like I said, Doppler, Nextrad, all these land-based frequency places, HARP and whatnot. It's frequencies. They're putting more frequencies in the air. That's going to disturb our conscious frequency that's always been there. They need all these in the air to disturb them. So I can't connect with you. So I can't connect with Staley. So I can't connect with, you know, RFB, RV, and all. I'm not saying that like, you know, I'm in contact with all these people, but it's very interesting how I'll be talking about a certain subject to someone in my personal life, and then 5 minutes later, Brian Staley's live about that same exact topic. And there's no way the man could know that I'm talking about that. So,
exactly. And that's what I was saying before, how all of our paths seem to be converging.
Exactly.
And that's happened to me. I will be researching something or talking about something, and somebody else just did a video on it, or I'm about to put my video out, and their videos out is the same thing and stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like we're all coming down our own paths, but yet we're all converging to the same point. And I think it's amazing. I love it.
It's beautiful. No, you go.
Richie from Boston, I think he had showed in his area there, those factories that put out all this steam looking stuff where they're seeding the atmosphere. When you're trapped under that blanket of cloud cover, and and it's absent the sunlight for days and days and days, months even sometimes. I mean, Richie from Boston, every day, chemtrails, no sun, you know. It has an effect on people, and they know that. They know that without the sunlight, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be agitated, you're going to be, you eat more, you get sluggish, people get more antsy and easily ticked off and all this stuff like that from that lack of sunlight. And I think that our sun is definitely changing. And I think the frequency of the sun, we're in tune with that frequency, and they're trying to keep it from us.
Yeah.
You know? I think maybe the sun would bring more of our senses online. So they're trying to stunt everything and keep us at this low vibrational frequency.
No, you're 100% right. And just like Richie from Boston, I'm from Massachusetts. I'm probably a good 70 miles from Richie. So whatever he experiences in the sky on a day-to-day basis, I experience too. So does Brian Stavely. Yep. And I believe Ghana Ball is from Mass too. And even a lot of people on my channel are from around here. So we all experience this it's a day-to-day thing over here. I'm not sure how bad the chemtrail epidemic is where you are, but I mean, it's like you would see on the internet. Let's put it that way. That's how bad it is up here. And people they're still at the mall buying stuff. They're still going out to eat. They're still going to the bank, to their jobs every day, and they're just accepting this. And it's sad.
I came out of the store one day. This is a couple years ago, and they're just chemtrailing all over the place, right? And I was just wheeling my car down. You walk out of Walmart, and the sky is right there before you, and all I see is all these lines and stuff. And I'm like, I'm walking past this lady. She's putting her groceries in her car. I'm like, do you see this? And she's like, what? And I said, look. And I pointed up, and she's like, oh, it's so pretty. I'm like, it's not fucking pretty. They're spraying the sky. What are you talking about? And she's like, huh? But, there has been, people who I've showed this to, even at sunset and stuff, They're like, oh, it's so pretty. You know, like they
hard for
just
them.
don't even know.
Right. They love the purple, the red, the all these colors in the sky. And people don't understand that, like, if you look at the clouds and they're 100% red, that means there's an element of lithium in there, because lithium exposed on a chemical as a chemical compound exposed to light, it radiates red. And NASA last year came out and literally said, we're going to spray the entire atmosphere with a layer of lithium for scientific research. It's like, oh, nice.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
I'm going to stick fluoride in the water because it's good for kids' teeth, you know.
Yeah, nice and shiny. Look at me, you know, fucking ridiculous.
But yeah, I have a cool story for you. I had a friend a long time ago when I was getting into chemtrails and everything and really talking about chemtrails. She came over to my house and she's like, well, what's all this about chemtrails? So I said, all right, you really want to know what they are? I said, come on, let's go outside. We go outside, and right behind my house was a Talladega forest. So it was all open sky and woods. It was really nice. But there was all lines in the sky. So we go out on my back deck, and I said, look up in the sky and tell me what you see. And she says, I see clouds. I said, all right, come on, let's go back in. We went back in, and we watched that documentary, What the Hell, or What on Earth Are They Spraying?
Yep.
Do you remember that one?
That was classic, yeah.
Yeah. So we watched that. I take her back outside on the deck. I said, what do you see? She's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, she's like, Jen, everywhere I go, every time I go outside, all I see is these lines. And like, I can't stop seeing them. I'm like, well, you know, you're woke to this now, you know, you can't unsee it.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. And I woke up to chemtrails right around the time I woke up to flat earth and all these, Freemason agendas and all this other stuff. And what really got me with chemtrails was I was literally just on my way to work one day. And I live about 5 miles from a Air Force base. And every year they do an air show. Right. And they bring in the Blue Angels from Canada, wherever they are, the jet fighters. And, you know, from where I am, you see them in the sky at all times when they're doing this air show. And they're going up, 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 up. And they do this backflip and they come back down. And they were literally less than 70 feet from the ground. And they just started spraying this stuff and went all the way up. And it was in the sky. They literally drifted down into the parking lot. I started coughing. I couldn't breathe. It was ridiculous. And that was like within 2 or 3 days of me finding out about chemtrails. It's really funny how things like that happen to me too. It's just like I talked about the other day how you remember the solar eclipse in 2017? Yeah. So 2 days before I found out about that, which, we should have known about the great American solar eclipse of 2017. We should have known about that beginning of 2017, 2016, 15, 14, 13, all the years we didn't have a solar eclipse. We should have known that this was coming up, but they just dropped that on us in April.
Eclipses were popping out left and right. Eclipse this, solar eclipse that, lunar eclipses. I'm like, what the heck? When I was little, it was like 72 years before you're ever going to see another solar eclipse and all this shit.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So 2 days before I found out that they were going to have a solar eclipse, I had a dream that I was coming down this just a big mountain near where I live. I was driving down it and I'm looking up at the sun and this object moves in front of the sun just like that. The sun's black and then it started dissipating. And then I just woke up and I was like, what the fuck was that? And then the next day I go on my I just checked my phone or whatever, and it was like NBC update. Everyone prepare yourself for the great solar eclipse. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. I go on YouTube. I see RFB just picked that same clip up. He went off on an hour tangent about it, how it was just out of nowhere. And then when the solar eclipse did happen, what happened? There was a shadow that went from the west part of the United States to the east. There is nothing in the sky that has ever moved from west to east. The sun moves east to west. The moon goes east to west. The stars even go east to west. And we're going to have a shadow go west to east? That's only 70 miles wide, first of all, which is ridiculous. So if the sun's 93 million miles away, it's something that's 237,000 miles away that happens to be the same size in the sky. That should just be a total blackout of the northern hemisphere.
Well, they always say, don't look at eclipses. Don't look up. You got to look down into this little box or have special glasses on. You can't look directly at it.
Oh,
I looked at it. I was out there. I was like, they're fucking lying. I know this is all fake, and I wanted to see what was going on. Yep. And yeah, my eyes were kind of watering when I was looking at it, and I had to look away because the sun seemed to be almost like such a precise little laser dot at that particular time of the day. I think it was like 3 in the afternoon here when it happened. Yeah. And I did not, it was clear blue skies, not a cloud in the fucking sky, and there was nothing up there besides the sun. There was no moon coming across and going over it. And there's no way that you would not see the moon. I don't care what kind of bullshit they try to feed us. I think they tell us not to look at it for a reason. Like looking at it directly. But yeah, that's all bullshit.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe, but I am more leaning towards the fact that was the day they switched out they turned on the solar simulator. I think that was the day that they just ushered it in, because ever since then, Jen, I'll take a picture of just a picture of the sun through even through the blanket of chemtrails. It's white and it's a hexagon. 6 days out of 7. The only time it's not a hexagon is when there's not one single cloud in the sky, which happens, I don't know, once every other month in my neck of the woods. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that sunny, beautiful days are like a scarcity and chemtrails are a norm? I mean, I remember when I first started on this chemtrail journey, it was in 2007 down in Florida. I was riding down 75. We would go from Fort Myers to Bonita. It's a straight run. And the trees aren't very high there. They're low palm trees and stuff. So you got wide open sky on this highway. And I would see these lines running parallel up in the sky to the highway. And I'm like, honey, what is that? He's like, I don't know. And we would see it all the time. And I'm like, what the fuck are they? Why is there lines in the sky? And he's like, well, I don't know. Look it up. And I'm like, okay. So what do I type in? I don't even know. I just typed in lines in the sky. And then I went down the chemtrail rabbit hole. And I'm like, look at this fucking. But back then, at least in Florida, it wasn't crazy like it is now. It's just like, it was still, a couple of times here and there. And it wouldn't even cover the whole sky like it does now.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's like, it's the norm. You're lucky if you get a beautiful sunny day. It's like, you better get out there and film that shit, because you ain't going to see it again for a while.
Oh yeah, you gotta take those. Like we're talking about. Did I drop off? Am I here now?
Just for a second. You're good.
I'm good now. Yeah. I was just going through my files for a second, but yeah, it's just sad that people don't understand. Like, I'm only 24 years old, man, and I remember the clouds being poofy. I remember the sky being 100% blue. But now you go outside and they're literally just straight lines. The clouds boxing. It's ridiculous. And there's just like straight line frequencies throughout the sky.
I have video. God, I have a whole chemtrail album on my Facebook page from like 2009, and you can see I was standing on my back deck, and there was this one spread out murky cloud above my head, and pretty much everything else was clear, and this thing had nothing but ripples going through it, and it actually had a hint of black in it as well. It was really strange. If I can find it, I'll bring it up. I'll share it with you, but you can see that frequency going through it. Whatever this thing is, it works with the frequency. And it's just not your average cloud, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, they've perfected the weather modification method. Like I said, those patents that showed it went back to 1811. That's 1911, 2011. That's over 200 years. Yeah. And it's old news. Like they say in the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun. What has happened now has happened already. Whether it's us being consciously awake on the level we are now, or whether it's the chemtrails, the solar simulator, the Freemasons in the rule of the world, because the number 33 goes back a very long time. And another thing with the chemtrail epidemic, they wouldn't be spraying specifically barium and aluminum. if it wasn't a demonic agenda, because on the periodic table, what is barium? Ba. What's aluminum? Al. And people don't even realize that either.
Exactly.
People think they're awake to chemtrails.
Undertones. You can tell you, we're spraying the sky, and it's for your best interest because the atmosphere is about to go away, and if we don't do this, you're all gonna die. So, and people believe it. It's like, no, it's a good reason. No, it's all satanic. All of it is.
100%.
Yeah, and there's something that's been eating at me. I'm not sure how to go about researching it out and stuff, but it's been bugging me for actually a couple of years now. And I figured I'd present it to you since you seem really nice and young and smart. You might be able to help me out with it.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So ever since I've been looking at old footage of, the whole Tartaria thing and mud flood stuff, so I went back and looked at black and white footage from like San Francisco at 1919, 1909. You see tons of people everywhere, right? There's like thousands of people everywhere. Black hats, everybody's walking. There's no cars. You see everybody. Okay, I get that. Now everybody's in their cars, but still, you would see millions of cars, right? And you just think from the 1900s, when we first entered the 1900s, until now, where we are in 2020, practically, where are all the people that died? The graveyards and cremation do not add up for me. I look around and you see all these people through the decades and stuff, and there's people dying, shit ton of people dying every day in every city and every state. Where are they all? The graveyards don't add up. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I never thought of it like that.
I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, they're NPCs and they're going back and being recycled out. Or, I know there's wars and there's mass graves. It doesn't add up. When you look at the millions and millions of people that are in every city, and even the cities that have grown, like, okay, say San Francisco had 500,000 people, maybe like 10 years after it was established, and it grew to 500,000 people. Well, that 500,000 people died and had to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And then the next generation, where are they all? And that's every city, every town. It's something going on there.
It's not like I haven't seen a new cemetery go up in my neck of the woods, and I don't even know how long. Yeah, man. I didn't think of it that way. That's good.
It's been bugging me for a couple of years, and I just, I'm not real well versed in death indexes. And Brian could probably search this shit all out. But you would literally have to go to each town and county and cities indexes and see what their population is. But see, we don't even know if any of that's right. We're only going by what we're reading in their government documents and indexes and stuff. So it just bugs me. When here in Alabama, there's barely any cemeteries at all. I'm like, where the fuck is everybody?
No, yeah, that's really effed up, man.
Being cremated. I know a lot of people get cremated, and back in the day, probably in the medieval times, maybe they cremated people more than they buried them. I don't know, but people have been living here in America for quite some time now, and it's just like, oh my gosh. I forgot. I have to talk about this hat too, by the way. But that's why he did that. The graveyards and the population does not add up. Something's going on there, and I'm sure somebody way smarter than me can figure it out. But I definitely know. I've been scratching at that surface. There's something going on with the graveyards. So.
You're right. I never thought of it like that. That's freaking interesting. That's been in your head for a couple of years. That's going to be in my head for a couple of years now, too. That's messed up.
Right.
I'm gonna be going from graveyard to graveyard, just writing dates down, I think.
My husband brought this hat in because there's something that has to do with this hat that we're not being told about that Santa wears. And it's the type of hat. You see gnomes wear these and stuff. It has something to do, it's some ancient thing. It has something to do with your connection and stuff and knowledge and everything. But yeah, if I had more information right off the top of my head, I'd give it to you. But there's definitely something even with the hat itself, an esoteric meaning that people don't know. So if you get to ever look up Satan's hat.
Literally,
and why he wears it and what it really means and stuff. It's very interesting because it goes all back to all of that pagan stuff and everything like that with Saturnalia, everything. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it like this, like, well, you ever like you read the newspaper and you go to like the back section, you got like the word search and the word scramblers and shit.
Yeah.
So you put Santa in one of those. What's the easiest word you can get from Santa? It's right there, right? And what does everyone in the occult do? Everyone in the occult, they got their hoods up and shit, you know? So maybe Santa wearing the hat has something to do with them, you know, covering their head because they're in a disgrace to the creator. They're trying to hide themselves, because hair is a very big conduct of energy. And, you know, and maybe they're hiding their true energy with the hood up, with the hat on their head.
Because I learned something a while back about Black people and their curly hair, and that has some sort of a meaning and a connection with the what you were just saying, with like energy and stuff.
Yeah.
And that they have these women straightening their hair out when they shouldn't. It should stay the way it grows, like real curly and tight and stuff, because that gives them more. Again, I'm losing my thought on all the information because it was a long time ago when I researched this. But yeah, definitely, you know, they have us doing everything ass backwards anyway, but especially Black women and Black men who are trying to relax their hair or straighten their hair out. There was a reason they had them doing that and try to put that forth and propagate it onto commercials and stuff and make these people feel like they needed to straighten their hair out. It was disconnected them on another level. And that's all very interesting. But gnomes look like little Santa.
Yeah.
You know, they're running around, these little pudgy guys with their beards and they got their little gnome hats on. Well, that's what this is. It's just a big gnome hat, but it has something to do with secret knowledge and stuff like that. It's just
if you look at the shape of the hat, it's a triangle, you know. Yeah. And you know, the triangle can represent many, many, many things, and not one of them is good, I don't think. But yeah, and plus the color red, the color of blood, and they work off blood, fear, you know, all these other colors like you know, red and blue. Everyone on the news, they got the whole nation split with red and blue. You know, Democrat, Republic, it doesn't matter. It's two snake heads, same body. It's that simple. I like to point out to people. Like, so what I like to point out to people too, they're like, oh, I don't watch CNN because it's fake, or I don't watch Fox News because it's fake. Well, it doesn't matter what you watch, bro, because Fox, FOX, Pythagorean, 666, CNN, the CNN logo, put it on its side, it's just a 33.
Right? Same with McDonald's, put it on its side, it's 13 for 13 bloodlines. Exactly.
The 13 colonies. But no one even, there's so many numbers in history that people think are just, you know, they don't see the incidents. They don't see how they happen over and over and over and over and over
it's
again.
Always right in our faces too, like the red carpet. Nobody even thinks about why these people are even on a red fucking carpet. But it's that's the bloodline. If you are in the bloodline, you will be on the red carpet. You and I will never be on the red carpet because we're not in the bloodline.
No, not even close. We're not going to have a star in Hollywood, you know, and it's all just a slap in the face of the creator, because I believe stars are just the conscious, the souls of beings that lived on this earth that were, you know, just very, very good in spirit, and they're illuminated for here on and forever over the earth, you know, and so they have this mockery in Hollywood. The walk, or what is it? The sidewalk of stars, or whatever the hell they call it.
You know about that Mandela effect, right? The stars.
Which one?
The Hollywood stars onto Hollywood Boulevard.
No, well, probably.
What color are the stars?
Gray, I thought.
Oh, look up the Hollywood stars and bring it up.
What are they fucking?
Mandela effect.
What are they, blue now or some stupid shit?
Just look it up. I found this one out at 3:00 in the morning in one of Brian's chats, and I had a holy shit moment.
Hollywood, hold on. How do you? What I should BLVD? Yeah, that probably makes more sense.
Yeah, just put in Hollywood Stars Boulevard or whatever.
Go to images.
Yeah, and it's always been like that.
Event red or orange or whatever color this is.
Pink. They're pink.
So yeah, somewhere in the middle, red, orange. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pink. I remember them being gray. That's crazy.
Yeah, we'll share it for everybody to see.
Yep. Thought I was doing that. Guess I
was
was.
like, no fucking way are these things fucking pink. And I had a picture up of the avenue going all the way down, and it's just a line of pink stars going all the way down. It was crazy looking. All right, here we go.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is insane. No way. I remember them being like a brass color.
Now they're pink. Yeah, actually, yeah.
There's one of the roads. Yeah. They're all lined up on the road there, yeah, on the sidewalk.
Wow, that's wild. They're all that color now? That doesn't even make sense. Whoa.
Pink. They've always been pink, dude. Remember a couple years ago when everybody was saying, think pink, think pink? That meme was out. Everybody's thinking pink. And now the stars are pink.
Wow.
And pink is the only color that doesn't have a frequency. How about that?
Well,
yeah.
That's messed up. I did not know that. But you mind if I take a quick break real quick?
Oh, no, that's cool. Go ahead.
All right. You want me to keep the screen share up or?
Yeah, you can take it off.
All right. I'll take it off and I'll be back in probably 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less. All right.
All right. No problem.
All right. I'll be right back.
My husband there says the Santa hat comes from the worship of Mithra. That's right. And Mithra, when you look up Mithra, when he comes back, we'll bring up an image. Mithra has that hat on. So, yeah. And that's what the summer solstice festivals were. Saturnalia, Mithra, all that. It's all pagan. Favorite color, pink. Yeah, Steven Tyler's favorite color is pink. And pink does not have a frequency. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. We need your screen, guys. I'm going to say hi to some people. D-Check, what's up? Loyalty makes us family. How you doing? Yes, they're obviously blocking the real sun for sure. We don't get their energy. The energy that we need from the sun frequency is changing, and it's supposed to change our frequencies, and they're trying to stunt that from happening, I feel, because it's going to bring more of our senses online, and we will, gradually work our way into this like we should, and instead it's all going to hit us at once, and men's hearts will fail them from what they see come upon the earth, because they're not going to be ready for it. It's going to be shocking to them. When the veil lifts and you start to see the dead and see these entities around us, people are going to shit themselves. It's not going to be pretty. And I was talking before about the 3 days of darkness to Christian when I was on his show. And I feel like at some point this thing's going to ramp up to where Mandela effects are going to be happening so fast and so furious that, we're not going to be able to walk through our own house without things shifting around us. That everything's going to be shifting so fast and so frequently that it's going to be lights out. I mean, middle of the day, sunny day, lights out. And that'll be the 3 days of darkness. And, that's when all kinds of crazy shit's going to happen. I could be wrong, but maybe. Who knows? Everything's on the table at this point, because this is all leading somewhere. And, it's happening more frequently. It's ramping up, and more people are waking up to it because it's ramping up. And I think it's going to be like a tidal wave. You just can't stop it. It's all leading somewhere, and it just seems to me that it's getting faster and faster and faster as the days are going faster even. And it's not just because we're in wintertime and all this stuff like that. Now I can see it that, time itself is speeding up. You might not see it in the clock, but you feel it as your day goes. You go through your day, it's gone. Hours just zip by like minutes now. It's crazy. Unless you're doing something that you really don't want to do, that's when time slows down. At least that's what it seems like to me. So yeah, Gary Rich, hi, how you doing? You remember the brass color? So do I. This pink shit never existed in my reality. I don't know where the hell it came from. I don't know why they turned pink. But the fact that pink has no frequency is interesting. And there was that show Under the Dome. I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but there's a show that was out a couple years ago called Under the Dome. They canceled it. But in that show, these kids were having visions of pink stars falling. Pink stars are falling. Speaking of falling, this whole dome thing and everything we're talking about flat Earth, I keep thinking about that Chicken Little story where he's like, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And I could never understand what that was all about. I figured, okay, well, it's a falling star, it's a shooting star, it's an asteroid or whatever. But I think it had another meaning to it. Are the stars going to fall? Are they going to come down from their high places and walk among us and usher in the darkness that's about to envelop the plane? In that show, Under the Dome itself, the people who were inside the dome went black. And everything in there went dark. Outside the dome, everything was lit up and life was going on. But these people who were trapped under this dome in this town, it went dark. So I don't know. I read into this stuff. I pull information from different things that I would see, and it just all clicks. There's definitely hidden messages in there. And if you're woke enough to pick up on some of this stuff, you can string it together and see what the hell it is they're encoding into all this stuff. Rose colored. Yeah, they're kind of rose colored. Pink, rose colored. Time flies. Everyone notices that. Yeah. Time does fly. You watched it, Annabelle? Did you watch Under the Dome? It was a good show. I was surprised that they canceled it, but whatever. I was back when I was watching some shows on a free site that I have. Now, I don't watch Teleyes to Your Vision, and I'm not hooked up with cable or anything like that. If I do hear about a show, somebody's telling me you might want to check that out. It's got some interesting stuff. I'll watch it, but I can watch it free, uninterrupted, without any, commercials and all that other crap that they propagate on people. So, The Handmaid's Tale, I watched that. That's very out there crazy show. It's not for everybody, I can tell you that. If I put that show on when my mom's around, she will go right to her room. So I know how to get rid of my mom when she's staying with me. All I gotta do is put The Handmaid's Tale on and she's gone. I love you, Mom. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Another good one to watch, if you haven't seen it, is Revolution. They canceled that shit too, but it has to do with nanotech and a blackout that happens. And the show picks up 15 years after the blackout. They flash back and forth to the past when the blackout first happened, but it's a worldwide blackout. And this is 15 years into the blackout now, where nothing works. No technology works. It was like a mass EMP event or something where everything got fried. There's no electricity, and they can't really get the electricity to come back on in any kind of way. And of course, there's mass chaos, and a lot of people died in the first couple of years. And then governments fell and all this stuff like that. But it's called Revolution. Steve, have you ever seen the show Revolution?
No, but that sounds a lot like this thing that we're living under right now. I'm not sure if anyone knows about it. It's called Operation Black Skies.
Oh.
You ever hear about that? It's a 3-year-long FEMA drill that's been going on since 1 week before the 2017 solar eclipse.
Really?
Just a weird name for that, Operation Black Skies. And then what happened a week later? A black sky.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. RFB, he put me on that a little while ago. He's like you said, good man for information on anything in this.
That's how I got to Brian Staveley's channel, was from Richie from Boston. So yeah.
Yeah, he's the good guys there. I love Brian. He's kind enough to come on my channel. Probably once a week for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So just a big shout out to him. Much love. He sent a lot of people my way too. So, and without Brian Stavely, I don't think we would be doing this podcast right now with each other, because it is him who brought us together.
Absolutely. He gave me the want and the encouragement to take my channel to the next level and start live streaming. I had never even really considered live streaming. I was doing shit ton of videos and stuff, but I had never live streamed at all. And now here I am, and I'm so grateful. Now, on another note, he's been getting a lot of crap from another channel that I actually was subscribed to, and I could not believe the drama from that. And I was just like blown away. I was just like never expected it. And this is what I mean about some of these people. They flip a switch. It's like, what's wrong? You seem like you're cool all this time, and now you're just coming out of left field with some crazy shit. Basically, all I gotta say is fuck Lone Eagle.
Yeah.
Brian's my friend, and I got his back. And if anybody wants to say some stupid shit like that, they just need to be called out on it. And Lone, got something for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad that knuckleheads like him, the whole IPS community, Tim Osmond.
Oh, yeah, fuck IPS.
Yeah, no, what's that guy? He's been following me. He's been giving me shit for the past couple weeks or days. I can't remember his name right now. John LeBon. That guy's a fucking loser.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you ever hear of that guy? Me neither yeah.
Yeah.
He literally he does streams or something, but he has to have sunglasses on. He's from Australia. Brian just put his name in the chat there. John LeBon. That he's a straight loser. Trying to tell me how can anyone believe the Southern plane flights are what you guys say they are because I prove them wrong? Like, who the fuck are you, bro? You're some channel who has 800 subscribers. You charge like $20-$30 to go on your website per month that has nothing but disinformation. And he's getting all on my case. He's like, so what if if I show you that the I can get on a plane from Sydney to Chile, no problem. And I'm just like, bro, like, I know that there's one nonstop flight that goes probably 3 or 4 times a year. And I know if I tell you that I'll reimburse you if you find the flight, that's the flight you're going to fucking take. And it's going to be like a $600, $700, $800, $900 flight. And even half the time, those flights are not even nonstops. They'll stop somewhere halfway just to pick up people. So they're not making it seem like they got to stop to refuel because they have to. Because on a globe, or on a flat Earth, there's no shortcuts. You got to go from Australia to sometimes even Anchorage, Alaska, and then you go all the way back down to Chile, which makes no sense on a globe model because you can just go over the Pacific.
Yeah, when you get on a plane, you're not up there thinking, are we going in the right direction when we're looking out the window and stuff, or they're not, looking at their compass. But Max Egan did that flight, and he used his compass while he was on the plane, and he had said that there was some discrepancies in what was going on.
Yeah,
and,
I remember that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, but, I've been following Max for a while. I just haven't really listened to him lately. I don't know why. Maybe God's been telling me or just been showing me other people instead. But he made one video a while ago, and I'm not really too keen on anyone who's a police officer or in the military, but he just made a big hit piece out for anyone who has a job in that field. Like, I understand it's just a job at some point, but he's like, if you're a military officer, you're just stupid. And I'm just like, why are we using names like stupid to describe people, man? Like, you're a smart individual. I've been following him for many, many, many years. And you're going to come out and just diss just people for having a job? I find that just stupid. I find that fucking stupid, It's ridiculous. Just going to come out here and just start attacking people for, it's not even their fault they're police officers, most of them, because they never been shown the duality aspect of life on how they're living over here when in reality we should be living in this aspect, because it all goes back to free will. Like I say, you can choose any life you want, but the life that the creator has set in front of you, you have to, it's not like you're just born into that life. You have to choose to partake in that life, that awakening, and be at the point, like you said, you're at now. Like you consider yourself like a teacher in this sort of way. And I do too, not to people who are older than me, but like I said, there's a lot of kids that have many, many questions about flat Earth, Mandela effect. They all come to me. Just in my local community. And I'm not saying, kids from around the world are calling Steve JMO. It's ridiculous. There's nothing like that. But, if someone has a question about Mandela effect, they'll ask me at work, rather than go online and get misled, which I'd rather them ask me. I don't have all the answers. I'm not the God of any of this stuff. It's no, it's not even close. I just know what not what I've been told. I just know everything I've been told. I've went and tried to apply that in reality or done research upon it. And if I'm talking about it now, it's because I think it's if not a fact, and it's the closest thing you'll get to a fact in this reality, especially the Mandela effect, flat Earth, chemtrail, solar simulator. I keep it simple on stuff like that because it's those are just obvious things that prove that the world isn't what you think it is, guys. If the sun is a literal hexagon in the sky, there's something wrong, man. There's something really wrong.
Yeah. I find it hard sometimes to actually explain the Mandela effect. I can explain it to a point, and then there's things that I leave out, like the flip-flops and stuff, because I don't even understand that myself. And
me neither.
It's confusing, and it causes confusion. It's fucking with our memories. Our memories don't match the current reality that we're told has always been this way. So you don't trust yourself. You don't trust your memories. I mean, who do we trust? And then you have people who have experienced Mandela effects years before you've experienced it. Like maybe just last week, the fucking scarecrow had a gun for you, but somebody else has seen it, 10 years ago or something. So it seems to me like there's this level of confusion that either we're seeing it from a perspective that we just can't quite understand it, or we're not meant to understand it. We're only meant to observe it and be watchers or witnesses to it. We're like God's witnesses.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you trust. It just matters that you trust yourself, and the feeling that we all get when we're shown something that we know is 100% wrong. It's like that intuition that Brian was talking about the other night when he did that quick little stream. It's like if someone could walk in a room and I could look at them, they couldn't say a word. I could just look at them, feel their energy, and just know they're a bad person. It's not because I know everything they did in their life before. I don't even know this person. It's just by feeling the energy and the frequency around them, I could tell you that they're either A, not a good person, or B, have just never seen the life and the light for what it truly is. And it's just sad that people will just go through life not even knowing the fact that they've been on the wrong path their whole life, not even knowing the fact that they have the opportunity to choose with free will. You could choose to walk away from this life of materialism, this life of just self-idolatry, pretty much. Do as thou will. People live in that lifestyle too much, man. It breaks my heart too. Yeah. Like I said, I'm only 24 years old, and to see the world in the state that it is right now, it's very disheartening for a young kid, because the kids are the ones that are going to be paving the way for the future. And the kids nowadays, a good 99.99% of them are godless.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. People can take that for what it is, but the kids nowadays, man, a lot of them have no souls, I don't think. Or they just haven't chose to understand the fact that they have a soul, they have a choice, that they don't have to, go to, I'm not saying you don't have to go to work every day, but you don't have to be a slave to the man. You don't have to be afraid of all these bang bang events that they do on TV. And, I don't want to get you in trouble with a strike or anything, but you got events in Connecticut and Boston and Colorado, Florida, the list goes on and on and on. And, they're all 100% fake, man. They're all so fake. They're blatantly fake. And a really funny thing about events like that is obviously the Boston Marathon thing that happened on a Monday, Patriots Day. None of us had school then. So obviously, I wasn't in school and I saw all that go down live. But Sandy Hook happened on a Friday. And I was just happened to be suspended from school that Friday. And I watched it all unfold live. And even as a 16-year-old, when it happened, I I just thought it was strange that there were 6 policemen there, you know. And then I look at it 5, 4, maybe even 3 years later, from a new conscious standpoint, and I'm like, because it never happened. There was no Adam Lanza. There was no a shooter in the woods. Nothing happened.
So
and to prove.
Why are they doing all these shootings at these schools, right? Public schools, by the way, because you never hear of these government-funded school shootings happening at Catholic schools or private schools. It's always the public government-funded schools that have their government-funded school shootings. And fuck you, YouTube. I will say Sandy Hook and fucking Columbine and everything else, all I want to say, because I have free speech. And I am not going to stifle myself. Fuck you and your strikes. And I'm on my backup channel. I can handle a strike anyway. But anyway, why are they doing all these school shootings? Yeah, they're happening or they're not happening, whatever. They're showing it to us like they're happening. What are they trying to do? Well, it's not just fear-based, and it's not just to get all of our guns. There's a whole nother level to this shit, and I'm going to tell you what it is right now. They're tranny farming your kids in these fucking public schools, and they want these schools on fucking lockdown. And the only way they can lock them down and have a reason to have a cop there and all the security and all this other shit is to have a false flag event that they put forth as real. And you're begging for the security to come in and put these schools on lockdown. They lock the schools down, and then they got your kids. And then they're tranny farming them, and they're bringing in outside people to teach your kids about how to use dildos and fruits and be whatever you want and all this other stuff. And the reason I think it's that is because they just did it recently at a library where there was some drag queen book thing that they had for teenagers there, right? And at one point, the parents were asked to leave, and it was supposed to be just the kids in the room with these drag queens for this particular segment of their thing that they were doing with these kids. And there was parents that said, no, I'm not leaving the room. You can't tell me to leave. I'm going to stay here with my kid and see what's going on. I mean, they were nice about it. But the drag queens insisted parents are not allowed. It's just for the kids, right? They even called the cops and brought the cops in and forced the parents to be out of there. The cops came and told the parents, you cannot be in there with your kids with those fucking drag queens. You have to wait out here so they can do their whatever it is for an hour that they're doing. They got all the schools on lockdown with all these school shootings and stuff because parents are begging them to put police in the schools and all these cameras and shit. What are they doing it for? It's for another reason. I think that's the reason.
Yeah, and you know the parents nowadays. No, I think you're spot on there. But you know, the parents, they want these cops to be in schools. They want them to, you know, make them feel like their kid's a little safer because the parents nowadays are lazy. You know, they don't want to put any time, effort, anything like that into training their.
No, they get locked down the schools and they don't let the parents get their kids. You see what I'm saying? If they do something and they do it in the middle of a school day and they lock the fucking schools down because they can, and they tell the parents, you can't come get your kid. We got your kids. We're going to take your kids over here. You go up there. We'll contact you. You know what I'm saying? There's always that underlying thing. It's never the surface things. I've learned that in my research, even through Brian. You know, looking through 9/11, thinking I had all the layers peeled back, and then I meet fucking Brian Staveley and realize I ain't got shit figured the fuck out. It goes way, way, way deeper because they already got the first couple of levels already mapped out for us. Okay, they're going to think it's this. They're going to think it's that. And they're going to fight amongst each other. Is it gun control? Is it this? No. They got your fucking kids, and they got them on lockdown, bitches. And now they're bringing in the fucking tranny farmers.
Yeah, and it's very sad to see that too, because that all leads to the everything is trans nowadays. I did a video on this about two years ago. I think it was called Everything Trans, because at the time you had the brand new Transformers movie coming out. You had this Trans-American
Union, the trans, all this stuff. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was like, trans everywhere. What the fuck?
And right at that time, I was doing a lot of research into the transhumanism agenda.
Yes.
And they all go together because it's all to make everyone one. They want to take away the male, the female. They want to just create this new transgender. It's just like 9/11. You had the two towers. They took them down to re-erect one new tower, the Tower of Light. It's ridiculous.
Baphomet is male and female combined. And that's what it's all about. That's what this transhumanism is about. It's not about mixing metal with man and all this stuff like that. Although I do think that technology will play a part, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Us and everything and connecting us directly to the internet. But the transhumanism is the transgender agenda for sure. And they're starting with the kids. Just like this whole fucking globe thing. They fucking brought in the orphans after the last reset and they started with the kids. They're starting with the kids with the tranny farming. They want them to be trans before they ever even grow up.
Oh, they are now. I don't know. I don't know if you have any idea, because like being a 24-year-old and you know, the kids that I went to high school with, they're okay-ish, but my brother, he's only 19, and we talk about flat Earth, Mandela effect, chemtrails. He's really woke on all this stuff, the whole trans agenda, and from what he was telling me, about 25% of the people in his grade are either openly gay, or bisexual, pansexual, or any of this other crap they're pushing. And these are 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds.
And they all probably drank out of those plastic bottles and got. There's a certain level in the generations where the shots became more prevalent and the plastics became more prevalent.
Yeah.
When you're poor and you can't afford a lot and you got kids and stuff, you're going to buy the cheap bottles with those plastics in it. This has been done by design. They knew these kids were going to grow up having all these extra things in them that mimic hormones and stuff like that. Like the estrogen, the plastics mimic hormones of estrogen in men, which makes them feel more feminine and all this stuff. It there's a war on women and a war on men. They want to take the masculinity away from men. And
it's 100% gone too. You look at these dudes, they have like shirts that go up to here. They have skinny jeans with holes in them.
What?
They even have pigtails, some of them that just represent horns, but you know, it's still all just trans to get men away from their manhood, you know, their manhood, and to bring women into their own manhood. It's ridiculous. And it's deeper than anything people ever imagined, because everyone's favorite president of all time, Barack Obama, was a homosexual.
Exactly. And his wife is a fucking tranny.
He's a man. He has a fucking whatever. He has shoulders bigger than me. He could knock me out with his fucking legs. It's ridiculous.
Obama is Michael Obama for sure, and she's definitely the one who wears the pants in that fucking relationship.
Yeah, sure. And the kids. Those two kids were just, you know, child actors. You know, exactly. It's all these people are on TV. They're just actors. Donald Trump, actor. Clinton was an actor. Ronald Reagan, actor. Ridiculous. Even Alex Jones. He's a what's his real name? Bill Hicks. Failed comedian, actor. All these people. It's 100% ridiculous.
Look, you break down politics. Poly means many. Ticks means bloodsuckers.
Well, there you go.
There's politics.
Yeah. And another easy way people look at it is the Illuminati. They think they're illuminated and they're naughty. Yeah.
Hi, man. BPA, you're absolutely right. Hormone enhancer. Mimics estrogen.
Yeah. They love that.
It's crazy. And I've been seeing a lot more gay relationships. Like if I'm out, I see a lot more girls that are trying to look like boys and they're holding hands with a girl. And that just, I don't know. It just.
No, it sets me off. It sets me off. It's hard for me too, because there is one particular, I don't know. We'll call her a girl because we know she's a girl, but she doesn't really think she is anymore. I work with her, not anymore really, because she's quitting or resigning or whatever the issue is. New job, whatever. Not my problem, thank God. But yeah, it was really hard working with her because I always have those like little, you know, sly comments about gay people, and she wasn't really a fan of all that either. And you know, I got, you know, there's a difference between someone who was gay in 1977 and there's a difference between someone who's gay now in 2019.
Yeah, because they're perpetrating it on to people and having you. It's not only that they're just gay and they're doing their thing. You have to accept it. You have to be all inclusive. And if you're not, you're this, that, and the other thing. And it's gotten to that point to where it's like you get scorned. It's like, what the hell's going on here? This is not natural to the natural order of things. 2 men cannot go forth and procreate. 2 women cannot go forth and procreate. They're breaking up the man, woman, child trinity. 1 plus 1 equals 3 because a man and a woman comes together and they make a baby and then you have 3. That's your holy trinity right there. Man, woman, child. Not man, man, child, woman, woman, child, and all this other fucked up bullshit.
No, it's ridiculous. And I like the comment you got here on the screen because that's 100% accurate. A lot of people don't know that either. Hollywood is just the tree, the holly tree, the old witches and warlocks and, other spell casting people. They used to, cut down the holly tree and form their wands from the wood of that Hollywood. And all they do is cast a spell on us now. It's ridiculous.
And now they're broadcasting their spell.
Yeah. It's over the air frequencies, and you turn on your television, and what do? You watch your TV program, and what else do you do that I love to tell people? You're using the B system. You're changing the channel. You're channeling your program. You're literally conjuring a demon to program your own mind. You're doing it to yourself, and they love that fact.
Yeah, and I call it a weapon of mass distraction is what it's televised to you.
Yeah, you're 100% right there.
Distracted by 24/7 entertainment, their brains have literally turned to mush, and they can't critically think at all. They're lucky if they can wipe their ass correctly. You know what I'm saying? There's signs in the bathroom. I went to a Waffle House, and I'm sitting in the bathroom doing my business, and on the wall it says, "Wash your hands. Step 1, get soap. Step 2, lather. Step 3." Right? It's like, you kidding me? There's actually signs up that have to tell these people how to wash their fucking hands. They don't know how to wash their hands.
No, it's ridiculous. If anything, if evolution's real, it's somehow it's de-revolution now because you go to your local Walmart, your local McDonald's, your local whatever like that, Price Right, Taco Bell. Look at the people there. Do they look like they're fucking evolving to you into anything smarter? Fuck no, man. They all have 2 teeth and they have the pants that fit people who are 8 pant sizes smaller than them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, obesity has run rampant here in Alabama. Let me tell you, it's just, I can't even look at it anymore. I know, people have thyroid problems, but how the fuck do you think they got these thyroid problems? Because they eat fucking crap. And maybe when their mom was pregnant with them, they ate crap. I don't know. But, not all of them have thyroid problems. It's the crap that they're eating. And it's like, some of these people are really smart. And I'm thinking to myself, how could you be this fucking smart? Have good credit, nice big house, got your shit all figured out. You're playing the game, you're in. But you can't quite figure out your weight. To be healthy. To be healthy now is like an oddity. Literally. I mean, to look normal and have a normal size and be healthy is like the oddity here in Alabama. I am an oddity.
I fully understand that. At a kitchen I used to work in, I had this quote unquote chef. He was about, I don't know, probably my height, about 5'11" or so. But he was about 6 times my weight. He was probably about 450 pounds, and he would swear up and down, left and right, that he was the healthiest man alive. He claimed he would go to the doctor and say he would have no health problems. So these people who are just so big and obese and whatever, they just that cycle we talked about. They get stuck in that cycle. They get stuck on the Twinkies, the Gatorade, the whatever.
Bad habits to their children. You'll see their children with
they're
and they're like 7, 10 years old, and they're already like 200 pounds. They're like,
yeah.
And I'm like, obesity breeds disease. First off. Secondly, you cut your lifespan in half, so you're doing them a favor.
Oh yeah.
And it's just. But yet some of these people have really good jobs. You know, they got, you know, their shit all figured out, nice houses and stuff like that. But they're all overweight and all this stuff. And I'm just like, that baffles me. It's like, how do you not know that you're not healthy and you can't figure out how to get healthy? What the fuck are you eating? You know?
It's ridiculous, man. It's I forgot what I was gonna say real quick, but it's just crazy. Everyone's just you know, oh yeah, what I was gonna say, you know, it all goes back to the truth in a way. Most of these people who are like really obese and overweight and whatnot, a lot of them have never really dipped into truth quite like us. So like before I went on this whole truth movement, I was about 250 or 60 pounds. Now I'm 185 pounds. And, you know, the truth will literally set you free, because once I started looking into the truth, I was like, well, holy shit, I got to change my whole life. I started going to the gym, being more active, you know, going outside, playing soccer and basketball and all this stuff. Well, you know, when I had time, but,
first off, I don't mean to cut you off, but the whole food pyramid thing that they have people thinking they have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner in this 1,500 calorie diet, and they have to have this and this and this. And
it's a food pyramid.
It's fucking bullshit. First off, you should only eat once every 12 fucking hours, period. But all the MSGs and everything else that people eat in these foods, which are excitotoxins for your brain, and MSG is in practically everything, it makes you hungrier quicker. You might feel full when you eat it, but 2 hours later, you're going to want something else. And then you're going to want something else. And then you're going to want something else. And if you're going to all these fucking fast food places and buying nothing but processed junk, GMO crap at the fucking store, and you have no level of education on any of this stuff, it's just going to, I mean, I see people here that are like literally in their teens and early 20s, girls that have like a front belly butt and stuff.
Yeah. Man.
These people, like, I'm 50 years old. I weigh, I don't know, 130, 135 pounds. I don't know, because I don't use a scale. Because scales, I threw those things out years ago. We can talk about scales in a minute. But I'm just like thinking to myself, look at this poor young girl. You see, there's a skinny girl in there screaming to get out. But, you know, she's trapped in there by all this blubber and stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, what are you eating that you're only 20 years old and you got to look like that already? I mean, this is not right. This is not good. Oh, but you got to be all inclusive. You have to be all accepting. You can't fat shame anybody. You can't say anything. So it's okay. Let them be fat. Like them how they are. They're happy. Just be happy. It's all a mind fuck. It's all to cut your lifespan in half and keep you slow, sick, and dying. And let me tell you, you can't run for your fucking life if you're 500 pounds. I don't care what age you are.
And they make it so just easy to fall in that lifestyle. Like, you know, like from someone who used to eat a shit ton every day of just bad stuff, you know, like they make ring dings taste pretty fucking good, man. You know, it sucks. But like, you know, once you realize that, you read the back of it and not one item on that is an actual food.
Exactly.
Like, why am I eating this stuff? And it's like, well, maybe I wasn't awoke to anything because I was just feeding my body and my brain bullshit for the past, you know, 19 years, 20 years, however, whatever age I was when I woke up to everything. You know, it's now it makes me sit back and laugh. It's like, wow, man, I was such a fool for so long, and now I'm just like looking at myself in shame sometimes too. Just like, I can't believe I used to do all this stuff. Like, I don't even want to like tell you all the stuff that I used to do before I was like when I first started waking up to this stuff. Like, yeah, I was still partying, going out with girls, this, that, and the other thing. But the deeper and deeper I got into consciousness and closer to like God and the Creator, you know, I've just like cut all of out in my life for the most part, pretty much. And even if I do like say I'm gonna do something, or say I'll go out somewhere or meet up with this girl somewhere, you know, I never follow through on it. There's just something inside me that doesn't allow me to follow through on any of these things anymore. And I'm pretty happy that I can't follow through on any of these things, because in reality they're all just things that are just temptations from whatever the dark side of reality is, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, since you are young and you have a lot of young friends, that, you know, is it hard for you to engage in petty conversation with the topics that they talk about? I mean, do you just kind of play along? I mean, because for me, I just can't engage in these conversations that are just petty, pretty much. The pretty petty, everyday, normal stuff that people talk about. I find myself having trouble engaging with that because
oh yeah,
because something will come up like, oh, did you see that show or on TV, or did you see the VMAs or something? I don't watch TV. And then I get looked at like I have 6 heads or something. What do you mean?
You know how many times a day I get asked, like, oh, did you see this new show on Netflix? Like, oh, did you see this new thing on Fox News? Like, no, bro. like, did you see Brian Staley live last night? Of course you did. You're too busy watching Fox News, asshole. Like, of course I didn't see you. Like, yeah, I find it very hard to conversate with people on stuff like that. Like, even people in my own family, man. Well, except my brother to a certain extent, he still like kinds of leads some faith into Trump a little bit, but I'm getting him past that. He's only 19, so cut him a little slack, but everyone else, I just don't even have conversations with. Like, if someone wants to hit me up, they could hit me up. I'm not over here like, hey, you want to hang out? Or like, hey, what are you doing? You want to go see a movie? Like, no, you guys can go be fake in the fake world, in the materialistic world where money matters. And I'm going to be over here where consciousness matters, and where connecting with people like you and everyone here in the chat who, just like to, shout out everyone in the chat for coming, making this just a good experience all around. It's ridiculous that, every now and again, I'll entertain a conversation about sports because I don't keep up on sports per se, but I do lightly follow soccer a little bit. I don't watch soccer I just watch it to see just people playing, sports that I used to play when I was a kid and shit like that, Right, yeah. Same thing with golf. I still play golf. I only watch golf to look at techniques of people playing golf because there's so many just little demonic things they put in golf. And it's all a controlled sport. They're all fake. They're all rigged. Why do you think they've literally put up frequency towers all around golf courses when there's a tournament? I've been to them, and you'll see the ball get hit high in the air, and then it will go whoop, 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 and then it'll just drop. And it's just like, well, how come my shot doesn't do that in reality? It's like, oh, because I don't have the fucking frequency gun shooting the ball down so it goes 2 feet from the hole and this guy wins every time.
Wow.
Why do you think people like Tiger Woods were good for 10 years, and then his whole life collapsed because he had to pay his debt. He had to pay his due for getting put on the pedestal so young. And now he's getting a chance to get it all back. And he won the Masters last year, which was predictable. There's channels on YouTube I follow who just predict sports, and they're right 95% of the time. And there's just so many little things in sports. Like last year, there was this dude. I think his name, Damian Lillard, maybe someone like that, someone on the Portland Trailblazers. He hit a 33-foot 3-pointer to win the game by 3 on his 33rd birthday. Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, that happened last year. And I was like, you gotta be out of your shit, dude. So it's just, it's ridiculous. People fall for it left and right.
Yeah. Well, that brings us back to free will. People are not in their free will. They don't even know they have free will. Even the obese people, they think they got their life all figured out and they got a good job and, nice SUV and their credit's good and they're ordering shit off Amazon and they're stuffing their face with Cheetos and cake and, oh, look, that Big Mac on our 72-inch screen looks so delicious. Let's stop there. But they never engage their free will because they don't even use it. They think they're using something because they have a choice between Burger King or McDonald's, so they got a choice. But, nobody's really engaging their free will. And like you're engaging your free will. You're choosing not to participate out there in that crap like I do. I stay in a lot. I hate going out into the world.
This is what I do. I
don't resonate with that anymore. And to go out there and do something, even if it's just to have dinner, I'm looking around me the whole time. Do you fucking see this one over here? What the fuck has he been eating? The whole restaurant? And I'm not trying to make fun of people, but to me at this point, it's just like, it's disgusting. people need to get a hold of themselves and get a hold of their health. If you don't have your health, you don't have nothing. And if your brain's filled with nothing but MSGs and fucking GMOs and all high fructose corn syrup eating holes in your brains and stuff, but hey, you got good credit, your kid's in college and you got an SUV outside, it's all good. You know, I mean, it's fucking bullshit. I can't even be out there. I want to come back and get home as quick as possible.
Oh, I'm right with you. Like in the rare events where I do go out to eat, you know, I'll ask to sit in like the far corner facing everyone so I could just watch and just observe everyone. Or, you know, if it's an open kitchen, I'm a cook, chef type deal, so I'll sit at the bar and watch them cook. But other than that, you know, I like observing people in their natural sheep, you know, environment. Like, you know, you got the holiday coming up. You know,
you can see everything that's wrong with the world by sitting back, even at a restaurant, and just observing people. You got the baby who's sucking on a cell phone. You know, you got mom and dad and brother and sister sitting across the table texting and stuff. Nobody's even talking to each other.
Yeah, that's what I hate. You'll see a couple. I'm like, you motherfuckers are married and supposedly love each other, but you're on the phone and you're on the phone with probably another dude and probably another girl. So like, what the fuck is going on in this world?
Yeah, we were at a restaurant and we looked over. I said, honey, look at those people over there. They've been on the phones across from each other the whole time we've been here. And they haven't even looked up at each other. It's like, there's such a disconnect. We think we're so connected. No, we're in an age of stupid people and smartphones and everybody's disconnected. This is just one more disconnect. You think disconnects everything, but it doesn't. It disconnects.
You know, the phones aren't even as smart as they say they are, man. Like, you know, if satellites were real, I wouldn't lose service anywhere. But yet, you know, I went and saw my dad in the middle of shithole fucking the woods of Connecticut, and you know, I didn't have service. I was kind of panicking. I wasn't gonna be able to contact you, but luckily he had a Wi-Fi thing, so we hooked up to that. And you know, I was like, she's gonna be pissed if I can't get a message out to her until 9 o'clock when we're back on the map somewhere. You know.
Yeah,
you know, that's why they're making this 5G thing such a big deal, because they're like, oh, you'll never lose service, you'll never lose latency. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, like, not that I care about service that much, I just don't want to feel like a dick, you know. But you know, these guys, they ramp all these things up, they make them seem to be like the best thing ever, but in reality they're just traps, dude. They're just you know, they have the smiley face on, but then, you know, they take off the real mask and it's just you know, demonic type face. It's bad.
Did you ever see the black and white little video? It's a street video. It's back in the early 1900s, and it's they're looking at this one particular thing on the street, but this woman who looks like a tranny man comes walking by and looks like he puts something up to his head and starts talking. Have you ever seen that video?
Maybe. I don't know. That sounds very familiar. Like, I'm painting it in my head, but
yeah.
You wanna send it?
I always knew. I always thought to myself, and I even said it to my husband, like, that looks like a guy dressed like a woman, like a big old frumpy man. You can even tell by the feet and stuff and the way it's it looks like a man. And then, you know, he kind of gets into the frame of whatever it is that they're focusing on, this horse or something, and he just suddenly puts something up to his head and is like, yeah, talking. You can see the mouth go moving and stuff, and it's like, and that was back in the early 1900s. So people were trying to figure out, what the hell did this guy have, or this old lady have in her hand, and why would she be, you know, talking? Because you can clearly see her mouth moving like she's having a conversation. And, you know, I don't know if that was some sort of early predictive programming or somebody was just,
Ben.
I mean, I don't know what it was, but I remember, first off, it was a tranny man. That's what caught my eye. And secondly, is this some tech before its time? Or are they letting us know that they've had this shit? You know, you're just getting it now in 2005. They're coming out with smartphones and shit, or 2003, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah. You know, they I don't know exactly how far ahead they are of us, but once they pull off this alien deception, we'll really see how technologically advanced these assholes really are.
Yeah.
It's
What freaks me out is the drones. My husband had a show on a little while ago with Gerard Butler in it. I forget. He's guarding the president, and these, swarm of drones get shot out of this thing, and they beeline for the president around this lake, and they all like start bombing and attacking. And so the drone stuff and the nanotech and all that stuff that they have, I'm sure it's even way more advanced than that. But that shit kind of freaks me out because.
Well, yeah, they put
at some point.
Yeah, and they, just like you said, it was a show or a movie. They put all the truths in these TV shows and movies. Like just literally go watch the entire series of Transformers and just replace the word Transformers, whether it's an Autobot or Decepticon, and a Decepticon deception right there for you.
Exactly.
But if you just replace Transformers with fallen angels / demons / Nephilim, it'll tell you a really crazy story. In the second Transformers, what's the evil person's name or whatever? There was Megatron, and Megatron's king, the guy he bowed down in front of, you know what his name was?
I forget.
Fallen. The Fallen.
Oh, the Fallen, see? And they even put it out right in your face. How many people are even going to pick that up? You know what I'm saying? It's always right out there. It all comes back around to this spiritual war that's happening just beyond the veil. The veil is lifting, and we're seeing it manifest here in our physical reality, and hence the Mandela effect. And they can't fucking hide flat Earth. They knew it. They can only hide it for so long. It's a 100th monkey kind of thing, with the generation.
Yes. No, I've always thought of it as something like that, Something had to have happened for people like us to just, go on YouTube one day and start digging into the whole flat Earth thing. And then, I think it's going to get to a point, well, I think it has already. It got to another point where, just like, let's say like the 100 monkey thing did happen, like this person looked into it, and then like 100 more are going to look into it. And I think it went from 100, now it's 1,000 more, and then it's going to be 10,000. I think the next jump is exactly. The next jump will probably be 1 million, so out of nowhere, you're going to see people walking up to you like, hey, what do you think about this? You're going to be like, motherfucker, what?
I'm out there talking to people. I'm like, yeah, this, that, and the other thing. And yeah, the Earth's flat. And they're like, okay, yeah, I can feel that, And before it was like, you get these weird looks, or I just throw it out there now. See,
I've gotten death threats from people that I went to high school with because I thought the Earth was flat. They literally put a picture of them with a gun on Facebook saying, take off all your flat Earth content, or we're going to come kill you.
How long ago was that?
Like 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
You don't get that now, though. But yeah, I know. In the beginning,
people hit me up like, I'm sorry for ridiculing you long ago, or I've been secretly watching you for blah, blah, blah amount of time. And I think this about that. And I'm like, well, yeah, we'll think this about that. And then, it's like you said, it's the whole teaching thing. Once you looked at all of this for so long, like,
yep. Now, more importantly is you should tell your friend, I'm glad that you're seeing this now, but more importantly, ask yourself, what triggered you so bad to be violent like that towards this concept? Because you need to look inward at that point.
Exactly.
You are under some serious fucking mind control. We all are. We have been all our lives. We've been trauma-based mind control by the tell lies to your vision and the propaganda machine that is the United States and the world. And this is what we've been born into. And it's crazy. It really is. But I did notice that, after you get past all the scorning and the scrutiny and stuff, eventually it's like, well, go ask Steve. Let's ask Steve. He'll know. Because I used to get that at work. It'd be like, I talked to some people would listen. They'd watch a couple of videos maybe if I gave them a DVD and they checked it out. Then it would be like, oh, let's ask Jen. She'll know the answer to this. And they'd always come up to me. It was like I was this knowledge of information, and everybody knew they could just come tap into it whenever they needed an answer. And it was really cool. But in the beginning, it was like, you're fucking crazy,
Yeah.
This, that, the other thing. And yeah.
No, I know all the names in the book, but another thing I tell people too, it's always be careful with all the information you obtained and whatnot, and all the experiences you have with certain people, because like you say, that the temple of God is within all of us, but at the same time, free will brought brought the power of darkness to be inside of us all too. So we have to all be careful about what we subject ourselves to, and some things may trigger our inner dark side worse than other things. Like I say flat earth to someone and they might actually try to kill me,
I have never ever been triggered about anything that ever made me feel that way if somebody's saying something to me. I mean, that's what I don't understand. What is in these people? What have they eaten? What have they watched? What have they, I don't know.
How many times they get the shot too?
Exactly.
I haven't gotten a vaccine since I was 13.
It's a trigger event,
Yeah.
I heard Flat Earth. I was like, okay, all right. I watched Flat Earth Clues. I watched the little Eric DeBay, and then I headed over to the ODD, and I'm like, dude, it's fucking flat. It was no trigger for me. I wasn't triggered. I wasn't nothing. It's like these other people, you say tranny man or you say flat earth or fucking Mandela effect, and it's like you just flip the switch. Or if you talk to a cop and you start talking about your capital name and what you know some stuff, you're enemy number one. You're no longer this nice person just having a conversation with a police officer. You're now an enemy.
Yeah, it's hard, and like we were talking about before, it's hard to dumb down conversations with the public people. So sometimes I do get a little rowdy in public, like I'll tell people exactly how it is, and some of them don't like that, and just like you were saying, it bothers me too. I'm just like, what makes you feel so opposite and so negative about what I just said? Because what I just said, it is probably fucking true, like someone was talking about the other day, they're so proud their son is, well, actually, let me step back for a minute and bring it back another week. So this dude comes in, he comes in all the time to my job. I'm pretty much, I have a breakfast spot, comes in early, and, he starts complaining about climate change and global warming. And I was just like, well, you know what? I'm like, this guy's been in here enough to know that what I say is probably, should be taken serious. So I start telling him about how climate change is a hoax, how Greta Thunberg is just an actor, and her net worth is actually 147 million for people who don't know that. And yeah, he started getting really offended, and I started telling him that climate change is nothing more than geoengineering, and he he just had nothing for that. And then he went on to tell me that his son is his son actually, because I didn't go to college, and he puts this on me. He's like, oh, well, my son went to college, so he can tell you more about this than I can. And from what he's told me, I know it's true. I'm like, oh, because your 22-year-old little dipshit son went to college and can regurgitate information that he saw or on the screen one time by a professor that has no actual credentials. You're going to tell me that you're going to trust his word over mine? Okay. Yeah, exactly. Now I see how smart you actually are.
I paid for it, so it's got to be true.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. People have too much pride in their not even, I'm saying pride in their kids, but pride in their money and their work. That I couldn't have spent so much money on this for it not to be true. I'm just like, dude, NASA has gotten $601 billion since its inception by just U.S. tax funders' money, U.S. tax money, us. And what have they ever given us? Nothing real besides a cloud making machine. They have machines that can make clouds that produce rain. That's the only legit thing they've ever made. Everything else.
Where's NASA going? Nowhere. That's where. NASA's gone nowhere.
Yeah, the Van Allen radiation belts tell the story. In 2015, the Orion program makes a video saying that we're still working on ways to penetrate the Van Allen belts. It's like, oh, well, what about the missions in the 60s and 70s where you penetrated the belts and went to the moon? They're like, oh, well, we didn't know about it at the time, so it just didn't affect them. And then you have another scientist saying like, oh, they just went really fast and went through it. I'm like, so you're telling me that the technology in the 60s and 70s, yeah, but like I said, you're gonna tell me the technology in the 70s is better than it is now?
It's like, ridiculous. You guys over here didn't get the memo that you went through his Van Allen belts, or it's like,
Yeah.
Keep your lie straight at least. Come on. You're getting enough money, you can't figure out how to keep the lie straight.
They recorded over all the original blueprints and all
all that shit.
yeah, it's too painful to recreate and go back.
It would be a painful process to build it all back. And that guy is like a fucking idiot. He's like stupefied. He doesn't even look intelligent or sound intelligent. They stick him up there.
Well, you got Neil Tyson. He's a real moron. He's told the people the Earth is a simulation. He's told people the Earth is a pear. There's a video of him in the early 2000s or 1990s of him telling people the Earth is flat. So, you know, that guy, he can't keep his dick straight. Let's put it that way. It's ridiculous.
Well, Tyson looks like a child molester to me. I wouldn't be surprised if he is. And I don't give a fuck if you don't like what I'm saying, YouTube. That's how I feel. Accept it. Be all inclusive, goddammit.
Bill Gates, they're all little, they all have to be doing these things. I can't 100% prove it, but they have front runners like Creepy Joe who just blatantly grope women on TV, young women. It's ridiculous. Yeah. That makes me sick.
I watched that whole Senate thing when each person brought their child up and presented it to him, like, here, take my child. And he's all like groping at him. As a matter of fact, they even brought up on, somebody went through the sound and put up the volume on when he whispered in this little girl's ear. And he said some like shit like, I want to feel you up, or I want to do something to you. It was real sexual. And the little girl's standing there like cringing, looking at him like, you know, just get me away from Creepy Joe. And mom and dad's like, you know, go ahead, go have fun with my child.
Because they're so brainwashed, they think that Joe Biden is some sort of god. You know, they have all this idolatry, all of this straight blasphemy. They worship these political people. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely disgusting.
Presenting their kids to him are already in the satanic families, and they're networked, and they're at that low level trying to get up to that next level. And one way to do that is to offer creepy old Joe Biden your child. The younger, the better. As a matter of fact, that's what people don't get about this pedophilia thing, and why they're putting transgender bathrooms in kindergarten, first and second grade, and not supposedly just in high schools, is because they want the kids to be all confused and transgendered up to bring in the pedophilia. If a child at 2 can decide they want to change their gender, you don't think at 3 or 4 they're going to let the child decide if it wants to have sex or not? And of course the child's going to know what sex is because they're teaching it over in the training farm in school, in kindergarten, in first and second grade.
Yeah.
And you can all this up. It's true. I did a video on it.
And you know, for these sick individuals, the younger the child, the better. You know, they prefer around 3 to 7 years old. If you just read what is it? What's that Jewish book? Not the Cabal, maybe? It's either that or that other.
Talmud,
the Talmud. Yes. Yeah, it's all right in there. It's ridiculous, and I show that to people, truthers, who think they're awake, and they're like, "Oh, that's just a conspiracy."
No, they're going to bring it in through the children. They're going to bring it in I mean, seriously, people are going to take if the kids are even saying they want to change their gender, that the parents take this seriously. They're not even actually a parent. They're just somebody there that provides the tools and the inspiration and the support for the child to grow up and be what it wants. You're not actually a parent. You're just an inspirer and a giver of tools or whatever. They've totally destroyed the whole concept of parenting itself. Took out that whole moral structure. Do what thou wilt is the whole of the law.
Oh my God. Yeah, it goes all the way back to Aleister Crowley. Well, it goes back much further than him, but I mean, like, obvious examples, him right there. The man who anointed himself as the Antichrist and then talked to a gray alien, a demonic being, People have no idea, man. And that just...
like I said, the pedos like them young. That it's not just they're fucking like 10-year-olds and stuff. The younger, the better. The Talmud even says 2 or 3 years old, they can take this child as a wife and have sex with it.
With no problem. No problem.
It's all good. God said it's good. It's all good. So
then you ask yourself, you're like, well, which God was that? Yeah, definitely not that's a lowercase g. That's a Baal reference, Nimrod type deal, anything like that.
people don't realize pedos like kids to be willing. And that's why they're getting the kids and they're brainwashing them and tranny farming them and bringing all this shit in at such a young age because the kids are going to, well, okay, the kids, this is an adult decision having sex. You know, you have to wait in life and you should be, you know, you can't, it's not something that a young person should make just hesitantly. So now here's an adult decision that a 2-year-old's making. Mommy, I'm a girl. I don't want to be a boy anymore. Okay, I couldn't really even string together a phrase, probably a whole paragraph when I was 2 years old. But apparently these kids know that they don't want to be a boy, they want to be a girl. Okay, life-changing decision, mom's going to roll with it. You don't think that the next life-changing decision about having sex, if this child suddenly I mean, what are they going to see their kid playing with their thing or whatever? You know, because kids do weird shit, you know, when they find their dicks and stuff when they're younger. That,
Yeah.
oh, he must want to have sex. He's playing with his dick, so let's let him have sex. You know, I mean, I don't even get this. So if you have little kids willing and wanting, well, it's a fucking pedo fest, you know? It's a Luciferian utopia is what it is.
It's all about it's all about rising the new Babylon. Well, you know, like I was saying before, the first sin, it's going to be the last sin for men to be like gods. And, you know, when the Talmud says, you know, that all that is okay, that is pretty.
The first sin destroyed innocence. He tempted Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge, which happens to be the apple tree, apparently, because Eve ate an apple. So I'm assuming apple trees are the tree of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So it destroyed her innocence. And that's what they're going. The first sin is going to be the last sin because it's going to be with the children. It all begins with she had a child's mind like you're innocent.
Yeah.
But once you eat from the tree of knowledge, kids don't know they're running around naked until they realize they're naked. You see what I'm saying? There's little boys that run around, they pull their shorts off, you know, when they're 2, 3 years old or whatever. One lady, I can't get her to keep her clothes on. She loves being naked, you know, and then there comes a point where you know you're naked and you're ashamed and you put clothes on. You have that knowledge. So that innocence is being destroyed. And you're right, it's going to end with that first sin. It's going to come back around to the kids and they're going to destroy that innocence. That's why we have to do it now. We have to take our kids back now. We have to stop it with the kids.
Absolutely. And that's why, like, I don't know, just being 24 and seeing what this world has come to in just the last, like, 10 years, you know, if I'm going to have a kid, it's not going to be with the timeline or the reality we have now. Like, there's going to need to be drastic changes before I bring another life form into reality, into life, you know, because there's so much stuff going on right now. And, you know, for someone to even like speak out with their kid about vaccines, like, you know, you got to fight the law, you got to fight the doctors, you got to fight your parents, you got to fight all your friends. They're going to look at you like you got fucking 6 heads. Like, why wouldn't you vaccine your kids? Well, I'm like, well, the autism rate in 2015 was 1 in 33. Kids get about 73. Yeah, just about. And, you know, the kids, they get almost 73 injections by the time they're, I think, 7.
Look, in 2020, they're coming out with a new fucking super shot that's 6 in 1 the second they come out. I can't even begin to explain to you the health problems and mindfuck that's going to cause for that generation that's going to be born in 2020. They're starting with a 6 in 1 shot, and it's fucking, it's just, they're probably going to all be autistic and fucking trans.
Yeah, and you know what I notice? You know, whenever the kids when the needle hits them, that's not the part that really makes them cry. It's when the doctor starts injecting the stuff into them, and then they really start freaking out. And some of the kids, you know, their eyes gloss over, and then they just never gloss back, man. They're just in that NPC fucking whatever for the rest of their life. And you know, they should have the opportunity to choose whether they want that or not. But like you said, we're born into the beast system, whether we know it or not. And it's just, it's not just luck or chance that people like you and me have broken out of it, but we've just been, you know, subjected to so much BS in our life. And I feel like you and I have high BS meters, you know, just through, you know, whatever life experiences and lifestyles you used to have before you were on your truth journey. I've just had a very good calling for calling someone out on their BS the second I smell it, you know, and I'm usually 100% on.
Yeah.
Like just for a quick example, at my old job, the second they hired this dude, I went downstairs and told them they should probably think about getting his paperwork ready because, within the first 90 days in Massachusetts, you could just fire someone for no given reason. So I was kind of suggesting that on him. They didn't do that. And 100 and something days into him being there, he tried to stab me with a knife on the kitchen line. It was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I knew it before it was going to happen. I knew this guy was going to be problems, not just for me. He was threatening the prep cook. She's about 62 years old. She's about this tall, and yeah, it was getting out of hand. So I'm the guy I am, and I just stopped taking his shit. I got in his face.
So, I mean, did the person not interview him and pick up on anything, or was it all like you fill out a form on the computer and you got a job?
I don't know. They used to bring people into that place that had no cooking credentials, and I would end up training them and just being really pissed off at $13 an hour. They got to train someone who has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I got out of that situation. And I took everything I learned from there and brought it to the next place. But there's a lot of things I left behind there. And I haven't walked into the building since I've quit there. I just have no interest in being with any of those people because none of them got it. And I'd be the only one there trying to talk truth to people, and they would just they just wouldn't get it, man. They would just deny it off grip. The only thing we all agreed on was that this wasn't a simulation. Everything else, everyone thought the Big Bang. Everyone denied chemtrails. Everyone, it's all a misremembering for the Mandela. Like, no, man, no, it's not, dude. And we look at the stars at night. We'd see them blinking, and they'd be like, oh, well, that's just a supernova in a galaxy. I'm like, no, dude, like, go read the Bible. There will be signs in the moon, sun, and stars stated in Luke chapter 21, verses 25 and 26. And what's really funny about those numbers, real quick, 21, 25, and 26. So what happened on the 21st of August, 2017, the great solar eclipse? What happened on the 25th and the 26th of August in 2017? Hurricane Harvey made landfall. I was like 11:40 something at night into the next morning.
Yeah,
and
it
then
just sat there.
Yeah, it just sat there. But then you go in the Bible, and you can type that into a Bible, whatever, and it'll give you a bunch of verses that'll be like something 21 verses 25 and 26. Then you get to the book of Luke chapter 21 verse 25 and 26, and it says in the time of the return of the return of man, the return of the Son of Man, Jesus, there will be signs in the moon, sun, and stars.
Yep, exactly.
And I just thought that was a crazy little, not coincidence, but just something they put out there just to fuck with us, I think.
Yeah.
And, there's stuff happening in the sky all around us, and people, they just can't see it, man, because they never even thought of looking up in their life. They're just down on their cell phone. They're on the video game. I play little video games here and there, but it's not the Call of Duty ones. It's not the whatever ones. Like I said, I follow soccer lightly, so I'll pick up the soccer video game every now and again. Play for an hour and be like, wow, this shit sucks. But I see through the programming. I'm the type of person, like, I can go. Well, I don't go to the movies. I have the Amazon stick or whatever it is, and I could just whenever I want to watch a movie, I could just plug that in and watch the movie. And you know what I do when I watch the movie? I don't get programmed. I call it out as it happens.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
can see all the stuff. John will be like, "Can we just watch the movie? Do you have to pick it apart?" And I'm like, "What? Did you hear that?"
I'm literally like you.
See it, it's there. It's like, oh my God, like, really?
It's so crazy.
Like, listen, I have to start winding this down. I got a phone call from my son, and he's not too far away now. They drove like 10 hours to get here, and they just called that they're going to be here very shortly. So I really, really enjoyed this, and I definitely want to do it again. Maybe I can come on your channel next time.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome to come on, whenever you're in the chat and you want to say something, I'll send you a link real quick. And, anytime you want to come on, it's no problem. It's no big deal. I really appreciate you letting me come on here and connecting with your audience. There's a lot of people in your chat here who I've never seen before. So hopefully they, enjoyed our little conversation. I look forward to, seeing them in my chat and, maybe a good stream with maybe you, me, Brian, and Karen could get on one night. Just tear it up.
We've been stuck on 33 viewers right now for like the last half hour, 45 minutes. It's just been stuck on 33. Isn't that weird?
I've noticed that in the chat. Everyone keeps saying 33, and 33 is probably the one of the biggest numbers in occultism, especially Freemasonry, because that goes back all the way to Albert Pike. That 33 in numerology. You got just easy stuff. Simpson, like the Simpsons, or O.J. Simpson, which was a fake trial, 33. El Chapo, 33. Yeah, Joan Rivers, Alex Jones, the word police, 33. JFK, that happened 11/22, that's 33. And there's just so many things. Even open your Gmail account, and that's just a free Masonic. Exactly.
Yes, it's the M. I look at it every day, and I found that out a while ago. But I was like, every time I open it, I'm just like, ugh,
Yeah.
And when I participate in the world, I feel like I am being a part of this beast system. That's why I try not to be a part of it. It's any way that I can disconnect from it, I do.
Yeah, and just like Stumpington Viking just said there, or Stumptown Viking, 33% of the angels fell, and that's where it all comes back to.
Yeah.
Baal being the first Freemason, and you had the Ark of Baal in Central Park in New York, which through the Ark of Baal you could see the Twin Towers fall, Jakim and Boaz, and what can you see now? The new Freedom Tower, the Tower of Light, they're calling it. It's ridiculous.
Almost here. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to wind this down, guys, and thank you so much for coming on my show, The Ripple Effect, because I think we definitely made some ripples tonight.
Oh, there was some good ripples. That was a good show. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming on this winter solstice eve and hanging out with us. So you guys have a good night, and thank you, Steve.
No problem. God bless everyone. Thank you.
All right, bye.
God, where am I here? What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, why am I not on here? All right, guys, can you hear me? Yeah, you can. All right, good. Let me get off of this fucking setup I have here and go back over here. All right, I just want to reiterate to anybody here who's new or been new since a couple of channels ago. I always have 33 in the chat. I'm always bringing it up. This is 5 fucking years ago, guys. 33 in the chat. It's been happening since 5 years ago. So I'm just saying, okay? There's that. And yeah, the tranny farming kids and stuff, I'm the one who coined that term. They're tranny farming the children to be trans. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Patty, I'm just saying your comment earlier when you heard me say the K word is back when I was in that circle of people. Yeah. 5 years ago. And this show that I did with Steve was probably only the second one maybe we did. I think I was on his channel a couple of times. This was the first I was having him over on my channel. And I used to call my show The Ripple Effect. And I was calling it that right up until about 2 channels ago, I guess, maybe 3 channels ago. And then this channel, obviously, I made Meldology 101. But I've always been known as the True Seeker 69 or TTS69. And yeah, I've been around for a while, talking about all kinds of stuff. Most people only know me talking about the melt and maybe touching on a few things here and there. But basically, I am fluent in many subjects and topics. And I'm not bragging. I'm just fucking saying. All I do is research and have holy shit moments at 3 a.m. while I'm doing research. And if you haven't seen the 9 Circles of Hell that Steve and I did, it is over on my Odyssey channel, the TTS69 on Odyssey. You can catch a 3-part series. It's 9 hours of crazy. and we cover each circle, and it's just unbelievable. The 9 circles of hell, Dante's Inferno, and the 9 circles of hell. I know it's getting late for a lot of people. Y'all got to get up early for work, so I'm going to end it here. I love you guys, and like I always say, the only thing that evil needs to prevail is for good men and women to stand by and do nothing. Let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing. I love you guys, and I am out of here.